God, it's real.
I love that all our pictures are on the mantle.
It's pretty nice.
Hey guys, welcome to the first night. Tabletop Tavern is open for business. Thank you so much for bearing with the little bit of technical difficulties we had. Welcome. This has been a long time in the making. And how are you all doing tonight? Decider 12, Cyclone Jack, Yachts, Luna, how are we all doing?
Woo! Let's do this.
Doing great.
I'm so excited.
Doing pretty good. Time to get the show on the road.
Oh, guys. For those of you out there, I'd like to say some thank yous. From me personally, from the team personally, I want to thank Decider 12, Cyclone Jack, YottsTwitch, and Luna for the time and effort they have put into this campaign. We've done a lot of work. It's been very rewarding. It's been a lot of fun. I'd also like to send a big shout out to OneUpMG for doing all the graphics and everything for the channel. Big shout out to you, to everybody who's helped us along the way, who's listened to me bitch, who's listened, tested audio, who's done, you guys have been fucking absolutely amazing. So it's good to see you. I thank you so much for coming out tonight for our first installment of the Tabletop Tavern. And guys, how are you all doing?
It's going to be a hell of a night.
It's going to be a hell of a night.
Heck yeah. I'm pretty excited. I don't know about you guys.
Awesome.
Super pumped. Yeah.
Chat, how are you doing tonight?
Chat, you guys
Cheers,
looking
friends.
good out there?
I don't see any GG spam. I'm a little upset.
You
to
don't
be
see
honest.
any GG spam? Alrighty. Also, for you subscribers out there, we definitely have new emotes for you out there. Check out the 3 new emotes we put in specifically for Tabletop Tavern. You got that rip, you got that nope, and you've got the what was the other one? I'm completely blanking.
The nice shot.
Nice shot, which I think nice shot is you're definitely going to be able to use that for positive and negative. So guys, welcome out. So I'd like to introduce you to the cast of the Tabletop Tavern. We have Decider 12. Decider 12 is a Twitch streamer, mech warrior pilot, and animal advocate, and master of MS Paint. Decider,
It's
how you
true.
doing?
I am a master of MS Paint. If no one has seen my illustrations, you're probably doing yourself a favor because it will haunt your nightmares.
Boy, they're beautiful.
Awesome. Cyclone Jack. We have Cyclone Jack, who is a competitive mech warrior pilot, Twitch streamer, gym enthusiast, and he simply just has a wish to make the world smile. Jack, how we doing?
Chilling tonight, Mike. Just chilling, man. So yeah, guys, I'm a competitive mech warrior pilot. I'm also a first responder. I've been a firefighter EMT for 15 years, and I've been playing D&D for over 20.
Excellent. Next up, we have Luna. Luna is a social worker by day, a mom, a knitter, gamer by afternoon, and competitive sleeper at night. Luna, how you doing?
I am so excited to be here. I've been playing D&D for about 11 years or so. So this is just kind of a fun way to take it to the next level. I cannot wait.
Excellent. I'm so excited. And then finally, we have Yachts. Yachts is a streamer, entrepreneur, and musician from Nova Scotia. He's a games enthusiast and an amateur developer. Yachts, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you. I'm so excited to get started, guys. This is my first foray into D&D or anything like it at all.
Awesome.
But so excited to be doing it here with you guys live. Cheers.
Excellent.
All right, guys. But someone who's not been introduced yet, finally introducing, you all know him, our DM, Mike, New England-based, tattooed IT, rock star, and lover of all things food. How I nerd, ladies and gentlemen.
Guys, what is going on? We have a great story in for you. I'm going to read something right now. And after that, we're going to get going into the campaign. But I want to, this is just a little something from us. So I'm going to try not to tear up. On behalf of the Tabletop Tavern, I'd like to welcome everyone into the first installment of our adventure. In a few minutes, our epic story will begin, and you will meet our brave misfits as they prepare for their grand adventure. Before we begin, I'd like to explain a few things. Our goal here is to tell a story that we as players and you as a community will certainly enjoy. There will be laughs, dark humor, moral dilemmas, and the ever-looming threat of doom. We have a mix of brand new players as well as veterans, so while for some this may be a comfortable, familiar place, others will be learning as they go. We encourage people to ask questions. If you aren't familiar with the system, our moderators are experienced tabletop RPG players and are great resources. We expect that the community want to chime in if they see a rule flub, but unless it's game breaking, we'll address it at the end of the night, learn from it, laugh at it, and move on. Our campaign base will be using the Pathfinder system, played remotely using Fantasy Grounds framework. For the basis of this campaign will be the Rise of the Rune Lords adventure path with a lot of homebrew mixed in. So if you've experienced this campaign previously, it will certainly be different this time around. It's been a long road getting here, with a lot of work, tons of laughs, as well as an immense amount of help from friends. We, as a party, are excited that you're coming along for the ride. On behalf of myself, the cast, and everyone who has helped us to achieve this amazing production, we are very pleased to announce the Tabletop Tavern is now open for business. So come on in, take a seat, grab a tankard, and join us on this grand adventure. So you see it here, Gun Bunny Soldier. Alrighty. So I want to explain one more thing before we get started. Our goal in this adventure is to provide you guys a good time. To that end, we've added some features into the game that will allow you to interact with us as players, myself as the DM, and flush out the world we live in. So we've added a couple little things in there. We've added an NPC creation on Discord. This is where you can go into our Discord and you can go into the NPC channel and there's a template there to create an NPC that we could possibly use in our game. It's a way for you guys to interact and feel like you're part of it and world build with us. We also have, this is one of my favorites, we have tokens for pluses and minuses, okay? So what you can do with these tokens for pluses and minuses, they're for channeled loyalty points. As you guys accumulate channel loyalty points, you'll be able to buy these tokens to give to players. Now, the way this works is you'll buy a token and you'll be able to give it to a particular player. If it's a +1, +2, or +3, you give it to them. They can use it one per combat, and so they can't stack them up and just like plow down something. If it's a minus, if you decide to give a player a minus, you give them, you'll purchase it through Streamlabs, and it's just loyalty points, and you'll assign it to a player, and that player has to use it by the end of the night. They can't hoard it until they have a super easy roll a couple days later, and then just throw it away. So the next thing we have is subs. If you are a sub to the channel, you get 1 token a night. So if you already subscribed to the channel, make sure reach out to myself or one of the other moderators and let us know that you want to get a token for one of the players, okay? We've also created an RP room in the Discord where we're going to keep some of the RP going offline. If people enjoy that type of thing, jump in and feel free. The characters are going to interact in that community or that space. To that effect as well, each character has a Discord room on the How I Nerd Discord channel where you guys are going to be able to go talk about strategy with those characters, interact, and learn more about the characters. And I think it's a great case. If you fall in love with a character, stop in the room and make sure to check it out. We also are going to have some live voting going on. We've instituted a system that's going to allow you to. I'm gonna throw 4 actions in there. For example, I'll be able to say like, who do you want me to attack next round? And you'll be able to use. You get a free vote, and then if anything past the first vote, you can use bits to sway it towards what you want. Up to it's capped. We capped it because we wanted it to be fair for everybody. But that live voting is going to be in there as well. So thank you so much, everybody. We're trying to build a place where we have fun as players, and you guys get to interact and feel like you guys get to feel like you're part of the game. So and influence the game. So I'm gonna read something and give you guys a little bit about the history of the setting that we're going through. And let me get that. Before I do that, I'm gonna take a drink because my voice is already dry.
Way ahead of you.
Everyone who showed up tonight, thank you so much for being here on our first night of the Tabletop Tavern. We're so excited to go live. We've been working so hard. And when I say we, I mean Mike. Mike is
Yeah,
pretty
working
much.
so
Yeah.
friggin' hard, and he's been on us to do so many things, but it's all culminated into tonight. And we're so happy to share this with you guys tonight. Thanks.
Tonight's
Alrighty.
going to be. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, Jack. This is exciting. So, without further ado, let's get the story going, and hopefully, you guys you get sucked in. I do see some GGs out there now, Jack. Though.
Yeah.
All right. The Light of the Coast, or at least that's how the people in the region refer to it. Sandpoint is a medium-sized town nestled in the Lost Coast in southwestern Varizia. While despite being remote, it, like many other small settlements, still fall under the guidance and jurisdiction of Magnamar to its southwest. However, its distance from the capital provides a great buffering, allowing Sandpoint to retain its autonomy. The last 6 years have been kind to Sandpoint. It has seen excellent growth, but it still has a sleepy small town feel to it, with temperate climates and the smell of the sea setting the mood for this fishing village. The inhabitants of Sandpoint are primarily human, but like any civilized population center, a smattering of other races can be found throughout the area. The human population is fairly evenly divided between those of Varizian and Chalaxian descent. The number of Shuanti making the town their home has increased steadily over the years. The most notable events in the history of Sandpoint occurred in the winter of 4702 and are generally referred to as the Late Unpleasantness. The people of Sandpoint would prefer to put the unsavory disasters behind them, but 5 years is not long enough to fully forget these events. Within the course of only a few years, a string of murders by a ruthless killer known as Chopper, and a great fire which destroyed the iconic chapel and many surrounding buildings ravaged the town both physically and emotionally. A grand cathedral has since been built, and the people of Sandpoint are finally optimistic about the future. As one approaches the town of Sandpoint, the footprint of civilization upon the Lost Coast grows clearer. Farmlands in the outlying moors and river valleys grow more numerous, and the blue-green waters of the Varizian Gulf bear more and more fishing vessels upon the waves. Passages over creeks and rivers is more often accomplished by a wooden bridge than a ford, and the Lost Coast Road itself grows wider and better kept. Sight of Sandpoint from either approach, either the south or the east, is kept hidden by large upthrust limestone pavements known as the Devil's Platter and the arc of the rocky outcroppings and lightly forested hilltops that rise up just east of town. But as the final bend in the road is rounded, Sandpoint's smoking chimneys and bustling streets greet the traveler with open arms, and the promise of warm beds, a welcome sight indeed for those who have been traveling the last few days alone on the Lost Coast Road. Today, being the 22nd day of Roka and the autumn equinox, will be a great day in the history for the people of town, for the people of Sandpoint. After 5 long years, the new grand multi-denominational church dedicated to Abadar, Desna, Aristil, Gozra, Sarenrae, and Shelwyn will finally be consecrated. Our epic story begins with a large, muscled man, armored in clearly functional battle-worn chainmail, armors, and furs. Black tattoos highlighting his body where his flesh is exposed. A dagger strapped to his leg, a long sword sheathed in his shield, and a warhammer strapped to his back. He stands there with a comfortable and calm warrior's ease at the tree line on the southeast side of Sandpoint. The man appears to be cautiously observing the town, watching the commotion and bustle as it appears the town is preparing for some large event. The calls and clamor from the town echoing out to the tree line clearly in this warrior's ears. Children run to and fro in obvious excitement, as well as vendors setting up their stalls to sell everything from food to colored silks. Almost reluctant about approaching, he watches for many minutes, getting a layout of the town in his mind. A look of determination crosses his face. It's clear he's made a decision. Come along with us and let's see what that decision is and what chain of events it may set into motion. Gunnar, you are up. I'm going to open a map for you so you have a general idea of the area. So,
good stuff. Gunnar looks down over the city, and I step down. It's time for action. No more time for thought. Moving down into the city, observing townsfolk, people. I start heading towards the center of town.
Okay, I'm gonna open up an area. I just shared the map, and you guys should see that in a second. And I'm gonna show you what you can currently see. All right, so you are standing on the southeast tree line. As you look out, you see a bridge in front of you. I put a little marker to show you exactly where you're starting. You don't have to use a token right now. You can just give me a general idea of what you're doing. So you're going to proceed into town?
I stop near the water and I reach down, kneeling on one knee, and scoop up a handful of water and give it a smell, give it a brief drink.
Okay.
Before I stand up and start crossing the bridge into town.
Okay, the water is definitely seawater, just so you're aware. As you walk into town, you cross over the bridge, and there's buildings to the left and right of you. There's a lot of bustle and going on. You hear a lot of talk about there's a festival going on today, and you're not quite sure what the festival actually means. But as you go into town, if you ask around, you could probably figure out what it is. Is there anything you'd like to do? You just got to this town, and you, if you would like to explore, you're more than welcome.
I think I need to find people.
You need to find people. Okay.
I remember the spoken words. I remember what they told me.
Okay.
And I think I need to find people. So I'm going to head further into town, start looking for the biggest concentration of people there was.
Okay. So the general flow of the people is heading to the northeast part of town. So if you want to follow the traffic, that would be the best way to go.
That's where I'm heading.
Okay. At that, our focus swings to the docks. We are now in the docks of Sandpoint at the southwest tip of town. The smell and fish and tar are prevalent in the air, highlighting the ever-present scent of the sea. You hear the call of deckhands all around and the bustle of activity as ships are preparing to leave, as well as getting ready to dock in port. An excited, well-dressed halfling walks down the gangplank of the ship to the docks, a mischievous smile waddling on her face as she looks around in wonder. She checks to make sure nothing was forgotten in her travels and that a rapier is by her side and her crossbow is slung around her back, concealed by a red cape. As she wonders where to begin, she hears a loud, authoritative voice shouting, "Move along, everyone, quickly, people! The festival is starting soon, and we need to clear the docks. Make your way into the city, safely but swiftly." Idabrix.
Right. So I guess the first thing I'm going to do is finish walking down the gangplank. And then I'm going to kind of get my bearings, kind of look around, see kind of where the crowd is headed, and kind of follow the bulk of the people.
Okay, so I'm going to open up the map so that you can see where you're coming in from.
Okay.
All right, so you arrived through the western port, and you came from the west and sailed east into the port, and you've arrived at the docks. There's a lot of docks there, but the primary docks is where you landed. If you walk into the city, again, the traffic is primarily funneling to the northwest. You could ask a guard, or you should be able to figure out where what's going on. If you want to get the lay of the land, go ahead.
Okay. About what time of day is it right now?
It is mid-morning. It's about 9 a.m.
Okay. So I think at this point, yeah, I just wanted to spend some time kind of learning my way around the town.
Okay.
Figuring out where things are.
Okay.
Kind of getting a general lay of the city, and then, like I said, just continuing kind of while I'm following the flow of people, just kind of taking note of what's around. Okay.
All right. So as you get into the city, how far into the city are you gonna go?
I think I'll just kind of stay with the general flow of traffic. Just kind of not like getting too invested in anything, just kind of blending in.
Okay. All right. With that, we're going to switch to, we are now cut to a figure of a half-elf with a morning star hanging from his belt and a buckler affixed to his arm, standing at the foot of the bridge on the eastern side of Sandpoint, a lush forest behind him with the sounds of squirrels chittering at him as if he just trespassed upon their domain. A long wooden bridge stretches out in front of him towards the city. The bridge spans a small inlet which leads into the town. The smell of the sea fills your nostrils and is a sharp contrast to the smell of the damp earth combined with old fallen leaves of the forest. The figure, clothed in cleric's vestments, appears to ponder something profound. A look of slight confusion crosses his face, but he spots something that puts a look of surety on his face and determination. As we watch, he takes out a holy symbol, mumbles a word, what appears to be a prayer, and gathers his things up. Davdithas.
I was brought here for a reason, and the butterflies have confirmed it.
Okay.
I'm following the direction they have headed upon. Okay. I'm guessing probably forward.
They definitely fly into the city over that bridge.
All right. Desna wants me here for a reason, so I will cross the bridge and see what's going on in this town here.
Okay. As you cross over the bridge, you cross without issue. You get up to the gate, and a guard stops you and says, "Hello, friend. Why are you here?"
Yeah, I was actually hoping you could tell me what's going on.
Oh, you haven't heard about the festival?
First I'm hearing of it.
Oh, we are having a great festival. Everybody knows about the festival. You must not be from around here.
You could say that, actually.
Okay, so he takes a determining looks at you. He looks at you and he's like, okay, well, he looks good. He looks good. You know, he notices you're a cleric, and he says, he takes a look and he appraises you essentially, and he's like, go right in. The cathedral is in the northeast part of the town. Shortly there's going to be a gathering there. If you want, make yourself find your way around the city, and we have all the comforts at home. So
if I could ask one quick question, though.
Certainly.
Kind sir. You said a cathedral.
Yes.
A cathedral of who?
It's a multi-denominational cathedral. It's used for a lot of the gods of the good pantheon. Desna, Sarenrae,
Wait, I'm sorry. You said Desna?
I did.
Interesting.
I noticed that that symbol that you had hanging there. So yeah, feel free to go up to the chat. It hasn't been consecrated that tonight. That's happening later tonight. But if you hurry up and you make it up there in time, the bells are going to ring soon, and they're going to do all the announcements for the day.
Thank you for the information, sir.
You're welcome. Go in peace.
Same to you. So I head that way.
You're going to head that way? Okay,
yes.
Excellent. Finally, our eyes alight on a wagon. This wagon, making its way north up a well-worn road through a lush forest, plods on slowly but surely, powered by 2 mules and a sun-darkened farmer who clearly has seen many harvest times. His name is Jeb. Jeb isn't our focus, however. Our gaze swings to the man sitting on the back of the wagon, a wagon full of turnips to be more precise. The earth and smells of turnips all around him. He looks less than comfortable sitting in a pile of vegetables. Every once in a while, he looks at the turnip cart. Every once in a while, he looks at the turnip cart, peers in his bag, shakes his head, closes the bag with a pat, and sighs. His legs dangling off the back of the cart don't come anywhere near the ground, belying his short stature. As the cart breaks free of the woods, the town of Sandpoint opens in front of them, and the farmer yells back to the man, "Well, friend, this looks to be your stop. Just cross over that bridge there and head into the town. Thank you for traveling with this old man, keeping him company during the trip. If you're ever back in Magmar, make sure to stop by and say hi." As the man jumps down from the back of the cart, his feet get caught up in his robes and he almost stumbles. However, he catches himself before he sprawls out in the dirt. As he stands back up, he straightens out the many pouches that hang from his belt, adjusts his robes. He looks around, takes in surroundings, takes a deep breath. Mihaly.
All right, Jed. Well, thanks for the ride. I wish I could say it was great for both of us, but do you mind if I take a turn for the road, bud?
I don't see a problem with that. You kept an old man amused on the way.
You're a good fella. I hope to see you around, friend.
All right. I got to go down this
bridge.
Yeah, just cross that bridge. I got to go down and I got to set up my wares for selling. So we will hopefully I'll run across you. Maybe I'll see you in the at the festival somewhere. So
I kind of peer into my bag and say, well, I hope this was all worth it.
Okay.
Close it up, sling it over my shoulder, and make my way over towards the bridge while giving a little salute and a wave to my buddy.
Awesome. So you are going into a bridge. It's a bridge on the southeast east corner of the town. There is a marker over by there right now that I'm actually going to remove. But as the road, you got to travel a little ways up the road to get to that bridge, but you think that heads into town. So,
Holding my turnip, I take a bite, cringe a little bit, and keep walking.
Awesome. So you make it across the bridge, and you encounter a guard who takes a look at you. And how are we doing today?
Quite well. How are you?
Not bad. What brings you to these parts?
Just passing through, visitor of many places, and today Sandpoint is one of them.
All right. So just a couple rules while you're here. Just we don't want any trouble from anybody. This is good.
Oh, of course.
This is a good town, and we don't mind outsiders, but we just want to make sure that you guys coming into town here from out of town aren't gonna cause up any trouble. Okay.
Absolutely, my friend. I would never even dream of it.
Okay. He kind of peers at you. He's like, have I seen you before somewhere?
I doubt it. I mean, I keep to myself most times. I just heard there was a festival happening. I'm sure you've seen many people come through these gates today.
That I have, sir. That I have. Well, make your way in, and shortly the bells are ringing. The opening ceremony is going to be up in the northeastern part of the town. So if you want to make your way there, you're more than welcome.
I give him a little wink and say, have a great day, friend.
You as well. Keep
Pass
the
on
peace.
along.
All right. So what would you like to do?
I'm just going to walk into the city center and kind of look around. Do I notice anything interesting about the town that I should be aware of?
Just the general bustle of the city. It looks to be like a medium-sized city. You see pretty much all the comforts at home. There's a bookstore here and there. There's there's a armorer. There is there's a couple inns. So if you're gonna do just a little bit of wandering around, you should be able to find anything you need to find here.
That sounds good.
Okay. All right. So suddenly the bells start to ring, and it's a large clang, clang, clang all over town. So we'll start with Decider. Decider, what do you want to do?
I would like to try to identify what note the bell is playing.
You are unable to do that.
Darn. Well, I suppose, knowing what I know, that the bell is probably happening. Can I tell the direction it's happening?
Absolutely. You know it's coming from the northeast.
They must be beginning the festival to consecrate the new chapel. Was it? It was yeah. I'm gonna head towards that. I feel like Desna wished me to be a part of this.
Okay. And you're gonna head up there. Okay. So as you get into the square, you just find a position, and where would you like to kind of situate yourself? I'm gonna put up a map in a second here, and we'll be able to just give me a general idea for where you are.
Okay. Well, if I'm standing in a crowd, I want to stand behind someone who's shorter than me.
You want to stand? Okay. And how tall are you?
5'9", I believe.
5'9". Okay. So,
Yeah.
if you make your way towards the back, you should be able to find somebody to stand behind. So,
okay.
let me just get that map up for you guys. Boom, boom, boom. Cyclone Jack. I'm sorry, Gunnar. As the bells ring, what do you decide to do?
Does it look like there are others following towards the bells?
Everybody seems to be focusing and funneling that way, so
That's the way to go then.
okay.
Check around briefly, looking around through the crowds. I start heading towards the sound of the bells in that massive building that I have no idea what it is.
Okay. All right. So I just popped the map. So you Decider, if you want to, I'm sorry, Davdithas, if you want to give me a better idea for where you want to be in the square.
Okay. Let me just peruse this square real quick. I have made it my entire. Here we go. There seems to be a food cart somewhere there. Okay. I would like to stand near the. Is that like food towards the south? It looks like southwest.
Towards the southwest, you do have a food cart. Towards more towards the stage over there is a It looks like fuel for a bonfire, maybe some fireworks, stuff like that. So if you'd like to if you want to be down by that food stall toward the northwest of the, the northwest corner of the square.
Oh yeah, there's a bigger food cart in the northwest.
Yep.
I will go there. That's
Okay.
my calling.
Okay. And Gunnar, where would you like to place yourself as you get to the square? So to give you guys a little perspective, it's about as you come into the square, there's about 100, maybe 200, 300 people in this area. There looks to be setting up. There's a stage where people are going to be talking. There's food carts around. There's a cart in the northeast corner of the square that has, like I said, tinder and fireworks and stuff. It looks like for a celebration later. We also have, there's assorted food stalls everywhere, and behind that is the actual, behind the stage is the actual cathedral, the entrance to the cathedral. So Gunnar, what would you like?
I think I'm gonna move in past the cart, not by the food cart. I'm gonna head in right. It's not letting me pick my token. That's
no, you're not gonna. We're not gonna put down tokens yet. So
I'm gonna head not too far away from that well, between that well and that cart over there, and I'm gonna see if that'll give me a better perspective.
Okay. All right. Excellent. All right. And Mihaly, as you walk up to, do you decide to follow the flow of the traffic into the square?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Seems where everyone's going. I'm pretty curious about what the fuss is all about.
Okay. And where would you like to place yourself in the square?
I think I'm going to stand kind of inconspicuously on the northeast corner of the map if I can.
Okay, excellent. Like more closer to this, between the stage and the cathedral?
Out behind that tent, but adjacent to the stage.
Okay. Alrighty. And Luna, what would you like to do?
So I am going to, being short as I am going to basically push my way right up to the front, standing right in front of the stage.
Okay. All right. So the stage is in it's about 30 or 40 feet out from the actual cathedral. It's about 10 feet high. But you think being up in the front of it, you should have a clear view of what's going on. You're not going to be so close to it that you're not going to be able to see, on top of it what's going on. So,
right.
Okay. So as you guys make your way into that, you see a woman start to take the stage. This woman has red hair. She's wearing a green tunic. She's about middle-aged, fairly attractive woman, and she walks up and she starts to take the stage. And as she takes the stage, you notice that the crowd starts to hush, and they start to come together. They know there's, there is speeches coming up. So she says, as she takes the stage, she says, "People of Sandpoint, visiting friends, it is so good you could come and join us this day that has been 5 years in the making. I am Mayor Tavern, and I would like to formally welcome everyone here to share in the games, the celebration, and the breaking of bread today as we celebrate the consecration of our new cathedral. It warms my heart to see everyone. And look, even Lars Rovanki has torn himself away from the tannery today to enjoy the festivities." At this, the crowd laughs, and the Lars scowls darkly. "Thank you, everyone, and may I present to you Sheriff Hemlock, who would like to say a few words." So you see a man. He starts to walk towards the stage. He comes out from the chapel. This man is also middle-aged. He's wearing a chainmail coif, an orange cape, and clearly looks to be, a warrior. He looks to be, he fits the role. He definitely fits the role of a sheriff. And he slowly takes the stage, walks up, greets everybody, and he says, "Hello, everyone. While this is certainly a wonderful time, I would like to remind you of a few things. First, the guard will be patrolling the town. As always, as you know, we don't have much crime here, but should someone get too deep in their cups and cause some trouble, then the guard will be available to assist. Tonight, after dark, we'll have a bonfire. Please be careful and make sure you stay a safe distance away from the fire. While it is fun, we all know what can happen as the fire spreads. Throughout the crowd, there arises a murmuring, and as they remember their reason for why they're actually here today. Then he says, "Let's have a moment of silence for the friends and loved ones we lost in the fire." A pause. Everybody bows their head. You guys took a look around. You're not quite sure what's going on, being new to town. And he concludes with, "Thank you for your time, people of Sandpoint, and visiting friends. Be safe and enjoy the festival." Mayor Devon, you see Mayor Devon once again walking towards the stage, and she has a look of slight trouble on her face. And she says, "Friends, our next scheduled speaker was scheduled to be Lonjuko Kajutsu, but a sudden illness has prevented him from attending the ceremony." From somewhere in the crowd, a male voice yells, "What? Is he having that stick removed from his ass?" And the crowd erupts in laughter. So Mayor Devon, she laughs and she's trying to regain her composure. She covers her face. She covers her smirk. She says, okay, calm down, everybody. Our friend from the Sandpoint Theater, Sidrak Drakus, is more than up to the challenge of saying a few words to help get the festival underway. And you see a man. This man has a musical instrument strapped to his back. It's a lute. He looks to be like slightly armored, and as he walks to the stage, he walks with a cool calm, with an ease, and he takes the stage with a flourish and a bow, almost as if he's a performer, and he says, "Friends, thank you so much for coming out today to enjoy the festivities. Today will be a day filled with fun, games, friendship, and feasting. Tonight, Father Xanthus will end the festival with a consecration of our new cathedral, which, as you know, was no small feat to accomplish. Only through the generosity of you all, the small businesses of Sandpoint, such as the Rusty Dragon Inn, the Hagfish Inn, and the White Deer, even my own Sandpoint Theater assisted in financing the new cathedral. On a completely unrelated note, stop by the theater today to get your tickets to the Harpy's Curse, debuting tomorrow night. The lead role of Aviziria, the Harpy Queen, will be played by none other than the famous Magnamarian diva Alashanda." At this, the crowd erupts. It just absolutely berserk at this time. So he concludes with, "Well, I hope you all spend some time today enjoying yourself. Father Xanthus is our next speaker. Please welcome him to the stage." You see a gentleman, an older gentleman, about 55, 60, walk towards the stage. He has graying hair, like salt and pepper hair. Salt and pepper has crept in his beard. He is wearing blue robes, and Davdithas, you recognize him to be a cleric of Desna. So as he takes the stage, cheers erupt from the crowd, and everybody starts chanting, "Father Xanthus, Father Xanthus, Father Xanthus." And when he takes the stage, he calms people down. He hushes people, and he begins in a warm, fatherly tone. "Children of Desna, new and old friends of Sandpoint, I'll keep this short, as I can see you're excited for the festivities to begin. Tonight begins a new chapter in the long novel that is Sandpoint. Please join me at dusk to help consecrate our new cathedral. May the blessing of Desna be upon you, my friends. I declare the Swallowtail Festival underway." The crowd erupts. People start to disperse, and there's a very festive mood in the air. Everybody's extremely excited. They're wandering around, and like the kids have run off in directions. They obviously have an agenda in mind, and then people start to break down into pockets and talk to each other and get and just it's overly friendly atmosphere, and everybody is just in such a good mood. This is you just feel like the overall mood of the town is just euphoric. So let's start with Davdithas. Davdithas, what would you like to do?
And he also is a man of Desna. I have to speak with him. Perhaps he'll have some insight as to why I'm here.
Okay. You try to make your way over to him, and there is a lot of people around him. How long would you like to wait to try and talk to him?
Depends on how easy it is for me to push people aside.
Okay. Are you trying to make your way through the crowd? Okay.
I'm not violently pushing people, or maybe I am. I don't know.
Okay,
depends on how they look at me.
Okay. So you try to make your way over to him. You think if you wanted to try and get in to talk to him, it's going to be like a half hour, an hour or so. We'll switch over to Gunnar. Gunnar.
These people talk way too much. This is... Even our ceremonies, they didn't talk this much.
Wow.
Jesus. And a bonfire. Be careful with the bonfire. I'm definitely not home anymore. God, feel dirty already. All right. It's time to start mingling and moving through the crowd. I've got an idea of who I'm looking for.
Okay.
Time to start looking.
Okay.
So that's what I start doing. I take it from my position by the well, and I start moving around looking for those key individuals, those forms that I've got.
Okay.
The ones that the voices of.
Okay. All right. Roll a perception for me, please.
I rolled a 7.
You rolled a 7. You don't think you see anybody that fits that remark that mysterious voice had told you about. So I mean, you can continue to search. You can take some time today and look around. It's up to you. And with that, we'll go over to Mihaly.
All right. So standing at the northeast corner, adjacent to the stage, I assume there's a lot of people around the square, perhaps kind of shoulder to shoulder. Would that be right?
It's dispersing at this point. People are starting to move around the town and figure out what they want to do and what festivities they take place in today.
Are there any people around I could grab to talk to for a moment?
Yeah. Do you have specific questions in mind, or is there somebody specific?
I want to learn a little bit about the area.
Okay. What kind of person would you like to approach?
Just someone who seems to be kind of a loner like myself.
Roll a perception for me.
Sure. All right. I roll a 13.
Okay. And so you think your best bet at this point would be maybe go talk to one of the guards. There's guards walking around, and even the guards look like to be in a very good mood. So if you had like questions about the area, or that might be your best resource at this point.
Makes sense. So I make my way over to find a guard who looks like he's a little bit bored and could handle talking to someone.
Okay.
So the woman on stage, she mentioned a fire?
Yeah. So we have a fire at night at the end of the we're going to have a fire at the end of the night to consecrate after the consecration. Just as a bonfire to celebrate. Are you new around here, or?
Yeah, I'm just traveling through, as many folks are in the area. I suppose she was your mayor, was she not?
Was she not?
Was she the mayor?
She was the mayor. Yes, she is Mayor Tavern. Yep.
Seems nice. Well, what can you tell me about the man with the sudden illness, Mr. Kajitsu?
He's a local pain in the ass. He's one of our.
Doesn't seem to be liked.
He's a little, you know how those nobles are. A
noble, yeah.
Yeah, this wasn't an unexpected thing. He kind of staves off the frivolity of the whole thing. So
why would he be talking at an event like this?
Oh, he's a community leader.
Of his social status.
Yeah, social status. He's like a community leader, and he does it in air quotes, and he kind of he laughs. And
I think I know the type.
Yeah.
Father Xanthus, he seems like a nice fellow.
He is very much loved in this town. After the unpleasantness we had in town, it was a welcome sight to have Father Xanthus here, open up.
Unpleasantness, you say? Have things been changing here recently?
Not well. What do you mean by recently? Like immediately, or?
Well, I mean, it was worthy of mentioning.
No, we had. Do you know the reason for this whole event?
Just traveling through town, my friend.
You are new. You are new. Okay.
First day in Sandpoint.
Well, about 5 years ago, there's a lot of unpleasantness that happened, and we don't really like to talk about it much. But safe to say that there was a fire and the old chapel burned down, and the former clergy that ran it died in that fire. So when they were mentioned,
that's fine. I understand.
Yeah. So
obviously a sore point.
So that's where when you said the fire earlier, I thought you meant the bonfire, but this is we're here to take a step forward in Sandpoint's history. We're gonna get the new chapel set up and consecrated, and we're gonna try and forget that unpleasantness. So
okay, I kind of shake his hand and say, all right, have a great night, my friend. I hope to see you around. Hope your night goes easy.
All right, with that, we're gonna switch over to Idabrix.
Let's see. I think I want to try to figure out a little more about what's going on in the town. But I'm not really sure who I want to talk to yet.
Okay.
So I'm kind of just milling around, kind of looking to see kind of if there's other halflings or if it's primarily like humans that are in town, or trying to kind of figure out who I might be able to get in good with. All
right. So how long do you want to spend on that?
Not super long. I pretty much talk to anybody. So, just a couple of minutes.
Very outgoing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So as you wander around, you're, you just, happen to catch gossip here and there, and maybe you jump into a conversation and ask them, and, figure out that this is, this is a dedication ceremony for the new chapel. Roll a perception for me.
Okay. That is a 16.
Okay. All right. So you look around and you think there's a couple people. You do see a lot of you see a mixture. It's like any other big town you went to. You're familiar with Magnamar. So it's primarily human occupied. But there's a mix of other kind of races there. You do see other halflings, occasional gnome. Some are a lot more exotic. But the majority definitely seems to be human. So
okay. Yeah, I'll just kind of use it as an opportunity to just jump into some conversation, learn a little more about the town.
Okay.
Yeah, find out a little more about kind of what to expect throughout the day and that sort of thing.
Excellent. All right. So as you guys are walking around, respectively, trying to pick up information, Gunnar, you happen to notice there is a section. It's a crossroads of town. It has like 4 green patches in there, and you look over and you see a couple gentlemen standing around. There's a pretty one big beefy guy over there, and he there's a couple other wiry guys around over there, and something about it just piques your interest. You want to go take a look over there?
Large man and a few wiry ones. Yeah, the thing I'm going to approach very carefully. Take look them over, give them the once or twice over, and look up and down as I approach.
Okay. So as you go over there, a man walks over to you and he goes, "Oh, you're a biggin. I'm not sure where you're from, but they definitely growing big where you are." He hands out his hand. He says, "Hey friend, I'm Dan. Dan the Ravisher, they call me."
And you let them? I grab his forearm.
You grab his forearm?
Ordinary handshake.
Okay. He's like, "Oh, quite a grip on you. Quite a grip on you." So, there's a lot of games of chances today, and that's for the the people not like us. What I run here is a little bit of a fighters league. We we mix it up a little bit. We have a little bit of a local ranking around here, and we you look to be a man who might enjoy something like that. Now, we don't use weapons. It's a little bit of bare knuckle, you know, some grapple and stuff like that. Does that sound up your alley?
I could give it a shot, I guess. I
Give
normally
it a
don't
shot.
fight for fun. Is that what this is? Fun?
This is you know, we just do this for fun around here. You know,
I think
it's
I could give a fun shot, I guess.
okay. It's a day of celebration, and you know, what's better than a good old test of skill. So, you walk up on here, and there is, you see these three gentlemen. Dan is definitely there, and let me see. We gotta add you in there. So, alrighty. So, we will allow you to, for some reason, it didn't allow you to do that. So you are now on the board, and you can see, three gentlemen standing in front of you. Dan, the man you met, he is out there, and, he calls you over and he says, you know, I don't like to brag or anything, but, you know, I'm the guy here. I'm the guy here. So you got to start with Rogeth over there. Rogeth is, he's in the, you know, the over there in the northeast part over there. So, you look over and there's a dwarf standing there. He is a little bit large for, a dwarf. He's typically, you know, dwarfs, usually come in under 4 feet, but Rogeth is a dwarf of above average height, coming in at almost 4.5 feet. He has the typical look of a dwarf insofar as his face holds a dour and determined expression. His dark brown and only a slight beard gracing his face, heralding his young age. Wearing leather armor, a war axe hanging at his back, and dressed in dwarven chainmail, he's certainly an imposing sight. Give me a DC 12. Give me a perception, please.
I rolled a 4.
Okay. He looks to be a solid warrior, and if you would like, you can definitely. So the way this works is you go over and you challenge him, and you know, you guys do your thing over there, and you know, see if you prevail.
This is for fun.
This is all for fun, friend.
All right. Thank you for the invite for fun.
Okay.
I'm gonna glance around and start heading towards the dwarf.
Okay.
Semi-casually, get a second glance and pause about 10 feet from him in the crossroads.
So as you walk over and he goes, friend, we forgot. You got to toss your armor on the ground, toss your weapons on the ground. And as he yells that, Rogeth starts taking his all his gear off, and he strips down to a pair of breeches, and he cracks his knuckles, looks at you, and he goes, "Hey, friend, we're gonna do this." And he moves into the center of the square.
I step to the edge of the grass, and I drop my fur cloak.
Okay.
And my shield with my sword, my hammer lays atop the shield, and my hands idly rub over the black markings written in some old, forgotten northern language before looking back to the dwarf.
Okay.
A deep breath, and I take a few steps forward. We do this now.
Okay. So I'm going to have you roll initiative for me.
And I rolled a 17.
Okay. So Rogeth is he almost senses, he looks over at you and almost senses you're about to act, and steps up to you and is going to come with a left hook. He brings his hands up in one movement, steps over and takes a left hook at you, and rolls a He hits AC 7. Does that hit, sir?
Negative.
Okay. So he takes a hit. He takes a swing at you, comes across, and swings and misses your jaw by about 6 inches.
Fantastic. Smiling, I put up my 2 hands and I roll opposite movement with the swing.
Okay.
With a brief chuckle, I step up at the dwarf and I throw myself a little double underhook. And I grunt as I do as I try to grab hold of him and yell something to the extent of, where I'm from, we don't fight bears, we wrestle them. Let's go, little man.
All righty. So this will be an unarmed attack, no weapons. The damage, it will be non-lethal.
Not rolling to attack, rolling to grapple.
Okay. So roll your CMB.
I missed the double underhook, rolling a 7.
Okay. So you lunge at him. And so what has happened now is he has thrown that left hook, and you step to the right and try and lunge in and grab him. And you guys swing just past each other. He looks back at you. Ah, friend, we have a match. And then he is gonna, as he turns around and looks at you, he's gonna spin with a right backhand and try and crack you in the jaw. Does that hit AC 13?
That'll hit.
That'll hit. Okay. So as his hand swings around, it's more of like an upwards, like to hit your jaw. He has to swing around back and swing up northwards with his punch as well. So he is gonna roll. He is gonna do 6 points of non-lethal damage to you.
Okay.
All right. And you are up, sir.
I don't like getting hit. I don't ever like getting hit, let alone from a little man. It's time to scribble in the dirt. I move again, but this time instead of the double underhook, I'm hitting it from the side.
Okay.
We're going to spear that thing and lift him up off his feet. Here we go. Oh, God. With an 8, that's another miss.
So as you spin to the side and try to grab him, he eludes your grasps. And just chuckles and is like, friend, you're not going to get me. I'm a little guy. And come back to him. And so as you're swinging up, as your body is like swinging down and up and trying to grab him, he's going to try and clap you on the side of the head. Like, clap your ears on the side of your head. So he comes in and tries to swing at you and rolls an 8.
That's going to miss.
That is going to miss. So he comes up and he's trying to clap at you, and he just completely misjudges the distance. It stops like 3 inches in front of your belly. And he just kind of looks at you and goes, that wasn't a good attack. And it is your turn.
With a half step back and a half step forward in front of that clap, I throw his arms up and try to grab him underneath the armpits again. We're taking this match to the ground whether he likes it or not.
Okay. So roll it. Oh,
that was a 19.
What is your roll, sir?
I rolled 1 and I need a new set of dice.
So because your attack was so bad, you fumbled and he actually hits you with a basic attack. And he does 2 more points of non-lethal damage. So,
okay.
And now it is his turn. He is going to, so he tapped you with a rabbit punch essentially with that tap there. He came down, rabbit punched you in the back of the head, and now he's going to come with a big overhand right. And he AC 16. That hits. Okay. So he comes in and he's going to hit for 4 more non-lethal. At this point, I believe you are bloodied or a little more than bloody.
A little more.
Little more than bloody. Are you still up?
Yep.
Okay. And it is your turn.
Here's where things get a little interesting. For our peace sake, he takes half a step back for half a moment. Gunnar grabbing a medallion around his neck, tearing it from his neck, and letting out an unearthen growl.
Okay.
I start moving in with a nice 1-2 underhand hook. I'm cracking this dude right in the head.
Okay, you're going right for the jaw. So Gunnar steps back, gets super pissed off. He comes in and swings at him. And because he's a dwarf, he misjudges the distance and it goes right over his head. So on Samuel's turn, he's going to duck under your hand. He sees the punch coming and he's going to try and jab you right in the gut. That is AC 9.
That's going to miss.
That's going to miss. And he comes and he tries to, hit you in the gut, and it glances off the rock hard abs of Gunnar. And Gunnar, you are up, sir.
Rage round.
Okay.
The charm came off. The bear spirit has been invoked. I use my barbarian rage to go nuts. It's time to start going crazy on this little man.
Okay. So again, the barbarian is just insanely mad with the situation. And he's like so frustrated. He's like, roar, roar, and he tries to hit him again, and just unable to land a telling blow on him. So, it is now Roga's turn, and he is gonna take another rabbit punch at you, and he hits AC 16. That hits. Okay. So as he steps up and tries to land one right behind your ear and tap you, and he does 4 points of damage. So at this point, you are less than a quarter of your hit points, and Dan goes, "That's it. Fight. That fight's over. Rogath has won. We had a good showing from our new friend here, Gunnar, but Rogath won. He definitely won." So as you step back, he hands you his hand and he says, "Well fought, sir," and offers his hand to you.
I drop my rage instantly, and I shake his hand before stepping over to my gear and shaking my head.
Okay. All right.
We're too fucking short in this town.
All right.
Next time I'm just gonna kick it like a goddamn ball.
Okay, so you think if you go sit down somewhere and maybe have a little water and you can shake it off. So if you sit down for an hour or two to relax, you should be able to shake it off. So with that, we're gonna swing back over to Idabrix. And Idabrix, you are walking around town, making just getting the lay of the land. And in your travels, you find a little. You're walking around and you see some archery turrets set up, and
cool.
you think you're like, what's this? If you want to investigate it, you're more than you can.
Yes, I think I would like to check this out. I go over and would like to. I look for kind of whoever seems like they're in charge, and
okay,
and just kind of say like, "So what's going on over here?"
All right, so so an elf steps up with a bow, slung around the shoulder, and says, "Friend, I'm Glamour. What's your name?"
"Oh, I'm Idabrix."
"Oh, Idabrix. Are you any good with a bow?"
"I'd like to think I am, but I use a crossbow. Is that okay?"
"Yeah, I think we should be okay with that. So, here's how it works. We run it on a point system here, and so if you hit the outer ring, you get 10 points. Okay,
Okay.
I'm sorry, you get 1 point. If you hit the second ring in, you get 3 points. If you hit the third ring in, 5, and if you get a bullseye, you get 7 points. All right.
Okay.
Nothing if you miss the target. I mean, come on. You know, we don't do any of that. All right. So you'll be shooting from 30 feet.
Okay.
And we'll you know what? Since we've never seen you around here before, we'll let you go first. So what I'm going to have you do is roll 3 attack rolls, and we'll tell you where you hit. So start out with the first attack roll using, your modifiers for your crossbow and a range attack.
Okay. So there's 1.
All right. So on the first one, it just whizzes right past the target, and you're unable to connect.
Okay. 2.
Oh.
Oh, that's a natural 20.
Yeah, she crit the target. So that is a bullseye. You get 7 points. And
Okay.
for your third roll,
And that is a 21.
and a 21. So with that, you also hit a bullseye. So you are currently in the lead with 14 points. All right.
Awesome.
All right. So we're going to step to the first contestant. This is Glamour. She's going to step up, and she is going to take her 3 shots. So she comes up, notches an arrow, takes sight, and definitely gets a bullseye there. She comes up, shoots, and it just quivers as it hits the middle of the target. Okay. Her second one is the arrow completely whiffs the sight. It goes right past. It sticks into the backdrop behind it. So for the third roll, again, the arrow comes in a dead center in the target, and so it looks like you two are tied. The other 2 had gone before you got there, and
Okay.
Currently it's you and Glamour in the lead. So we're gonna move over to sudden death. The next person to hit more than either the second or the bullseye will take the contest.
Okay.
All right. So she bows to you and says, "You may go first."
All right. There we go. Let's see. That is a 15.
All right. So as you come in and you take a step up and you aim your crossbow and the bolt flies true, you hit the third ring. The second ring, and because she kind of shakes her head. She gave you that opportunity, and you sealed the deal on that contest. So, Idabrix, Glamour walks over to Idabrix, raises her little hand, and says, "Congratulations, you are the winner of the Archer contest at the Sandpoint Festival today."
Wow, cool.
You want to know what you won?
Yeah, I do.
Bragging rights.
Okay. Pride, not prize. Got it.
Not prize. All right. So by this time, we're going to switch over to Davdithas and see what he was up to.
I've been waiting forever.
Forever?
Forever.
Ever?
Have I approached the man now?
The
man of Desna.
Yes. So Father Xantus, you make your way up now, and you approach him.
Father, I must speak with you.
Oh, I see you wear the vestments of Desna as well, sir.
I noticed that of you as well.
May our blessing be upon you.
Blessings to you as well. Unfortunately, I find myself in a land I'm unfamiliar with for a purpose I'm not sure, but Desna has led me here.
How Desna's led you here? How do you know?
Some flappy butterflies.
Some flappy butterflies. Well, as you know, this definitely is a symbol of our goddess. Did she say what purpose?
She told me I was supposed to meet a couple people here, actually.
Okay.
Have you seen any of them?
Who are these people? Can you describe them?
What she told me wasn't exactly clear. She said a stubborn warrior, which I saw a fight go on a little bit ago, and I saw a dwarf kicking some ass, so it might be him. A sly halfling, and a student of the arcane arts.
Oh, okay. I mean, those are pretty. I haven't been imparted any knowledge by our goddess, but I haven't seen anything of that. I've been kind of stuck right here, talking to the faithful, and this is kind of where I've been. I haven't seen anybody that fits that description.
All right.
You'll have to forgive me. Just in a little bit, we're gonna have to. I'm setting up something that I think you'll enjoy particularly. So.
Oh, really?
Yes. Well, as a follower of Desna, I think you'll enjoy this. So, he's like, he begs your pardon and he says, maybe we can talk another time. Tomorrow might not be as crowded as today. We have a lot going on today, and he bids you adieu.
I look forward to it.
All right.
Father. Thank you.
With that, we switch back over to Mihaly. Mihaly, what would you like to do, sir?
Where am I at? Still in the square?
Still in the square, just kind of walking around, doing your thing. Gathering knowledge, if I remember right.
Yeah, so I kind of want to tell a little bit more about the area. Now that people have cleared out, is there anyone who obviously stands out?
You have the central figures that you saw. You saw, Mayor Deverin's around. You see Father Vantis out on the side talking to a bunch of people. And then after waiting for a while, he kind of walks off, and it looks like he has a destination in mind. Sheriff Hemlock's there directing the troops. He's, the town's guard is coming back and forth and kind of giving him, updates on what's going on, and everything's to be run smoothly. These are the only people. And Cydric, you notice the person with the theater, he has since left.
Okay. I kind of want to make my way into the center, but kind of inconspicuously, kind of keeping to myself.
All right, give me okay, yeah, okay.
I'm hoping to track down Sheriff Hemlock and talk to him for a moment. Is he available?
Give me like a perception.
Sure. I roll perception of 7.
You don't think you can track him down right now? There's a lot going on. I'm sorry, he's in the square. That's my apologies. If you want to go over there and talk to him, you absolutely can. I flubbed that, guys.
Yeah, at least it wasn't me who flubbed it for once. All right. So I'm going to go over and just kind of chat to him if he's available, kind of try to get his attention, but not grab the attention of everyone else.
Well, I mean, there's a decent amount of guards around him that he coming and going pretty often, giving updates. So
I try to act kind of unassuming and as if I belong.
Okay. And you're just gonna observe things, or explain it to me. Are you on the say they're forming like a circle around him, not like they're coming up to him. He's sitting at a table, and people and soldiers are the guard is coming up and giving reports, and then taking their leave and leaving. So are you waiting in line, or what? Give me what you're doing.
There's a lineup.
Well, there's the guards keep on going up to him and stuff like that. So there's a good group of people right there.
Okay. Well, I suppose if he's busy, what I'm really trying to accomplish here is to determine a little bit more about the town.
Okay.
Perhaps that'd be better established by exploring a little bit.
Okay. I mean, if you want, you can try and hail him. You can absolutely try and hail him. It's just you're, I
really don't want to attract any attention to myself at this point.
Okay. So you're going to walk around?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to, seeing that there's a crowd around him, but like to kind of ditch and just keep to myself at this point.
Okay. Alrighty. So as you walk around town, you're just going to kind of listen to things, or are you going to try to look for people to talk to, or give me what you're doing?
I'm going to kind of keep to myself and just kind of see if there's any, shops or people around who kind of pique my interest.
Okay. What kind of thing would be
curious?
Nothing sticks out. You see the typical parts of town. You see
it's a pretty regular town.
Pretty regular town. There's inns, like I said, you can kind of find whatever you're looking for. If you're looking for an inn, you could definitely find an inn. If you're looking for, if you're looking for like a bookstore, you could find that. If you're looking for an armor or a blacksmith. And
is there a tavern around?
There is definitely a tavern.
Like one close enough that I could pop in for a brew.
You would probably you would have to go to the like the southeast part of town, but you could. I mean, it's maybe a 10-15 minute walk.
Yeah, I just kind of want to keep to myself at the moment. Remain conspicuous.
You could ask around. You could definitely ask around you for directions to the closest inn too. So
okay, is there anyone around I could talk to?
If you're just looking for an inn, you could just grab a like, hey buddy, you know where I could find an inn or a tavern or something like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume there's someone right next to me with all the kerfuffle, or at least someone passing me.
All right, so you try and hail somebody.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of look around until I meet eyes with someone, and hopefully they stop to talk to me for a moment.
So you see a gentleman walk up to, you see a gentleman standing there. He catches your eye. He gives you the nod and smile.
Sir?
Yeah. What can I help you with?
I'm new to town. Perhaps you could point me in the direction of the local inn.
You looking for an inn or tavern? Actually, you know what? I know a good place.
I'll trust the locals on this one.
All right. So you're going to go down to Rusty Dragon, and Amiko might not be down there today because she's, they're having the cook off at noon today. But her place is one of the best in town. So to get there, you got to go down, follow like the central road down to the southeast, and you should see signs down there. If you don't see it, ask somebody. They'll get you in there.
The Rusty Dragon, you say?
Yes.
Very
Rusty
good.
Dragon Inn.
And that's the place to stay. I need accommodations for the night, I assume.
Yep. That'd be the place. I'd suggest you there. I get when I'm done work for the day, that's where I tend to stop by.
Yeah, very good. Can I grab a brew while I'm there?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, very good. All right, I say thanks and kind of make my way on to the southeast, you say?
Yep.
Towards the Rusty Dragon, nonetheless.
Okay. All right, so you make your way down there, and you walk into the inn. You find it pretty easy. It sticks out. It's one of the more prominent inns in town, and you go in, and it's a typical bar, and they got rooms for rent, and there's somebody working the desk or the bar top. So
sure. As I walk in, I kind of look around. Looks like a regular inn.
Yeah, you see, there's a couple people in there grabbing a drink and doing their thing, and enjoying a little bit of food and maybe a drink or two.
All right, I walk up to the desk. I see someone working there, I assume.
Yep.
All right, is there any vacancies tonight? I believe I need a room.
Yeah, we got rooms. How long are you staying?
Well, that's a fantastic question. Perhaps you could help me with that as well. I know I'm here tonight anyway.
Well, if you want to pay for tonight, then you can pay for tonight. It'd be 1 silver a night.
Sure. I slide a silver across the table and ask them for directions to my room.
Okay. So you go upstairs. It's the second door on the left, and the second door on the left, and just help make yourself way. Do you have any bags outside that need to be brought in?
Just carry on luggage only, my friend.
Okay. All right. So you go settle. Okay. So as you go upstairs, you check into your room, and we're gonna cut back over to Gunnar.
Well, after a little bit of time of resting, I reaffix my chain shirt.
Okay.
And bring my cloak of furs back up over my shoulders.
Okay.
Pull my hood up and affix my my shield and then my hammer over the top.
Okay. So as you do that, I'm sorry.
Looking back at the gentleman that I fought, I think it's time for drink and food. What do you say?
He nods his head. He's like, well fought, sir. You wanna go grab one?
Dinner's on me.
Okay. So he suggests, he's like, I know this place we could go. I could go. So he's like, you come with me. He goes over to Dan, I'm going to take off a little bit. I'm going to buy this, we're going to go get a drink. I'll be back later. Okay. Dan nods over at you guys and, laughs, and guys, go enjoy one. Go enjoy a cold one. So, you guys start making your way down to the southeast part of town. And, when you get down there, he's like, Rusty Dragon Inn, best place in town. And he opens the door, goes in, sits down, calls the barkeep over, and he's
I move in after the little man and sit down with him and look at the barkeep before even the dwarf can say anything. For the little man and myself, 2 meads, biggest horns you have.
Okay, coming right up. All right. So your drinks come over, and you start. The barkeep comes over and says, as you guys know, today's the Swallowtail festival, so the first drink's on us, and food's free today.
I nudge the dwarf with my elbow and look at him and go, he said food was free, correct?
He did.
What do they have here?
So today we're serving curried salmon and spiced winter mead. It's kind of our thing. So every year, as Rogeth knows, there's a cooking competition, and Amiko, she's the owner of this inn. She's running she's doing one of her signature dishes is the curried salmon. So that's what she's entering, and we have a huge batch of that. So,
do you have cow?
Not today, sir. Not today.
I'll take 5.
You'll take 5. Okay. All right. We'll come in, And he walks off, and he's like, maybe we should save for the rest of some other people. And he goes back to the kitchen. And so you're sitting there with Rogeth, and Rogeth claps you on the shoulder and says, well fought, friend. Well fought.
I'm guessing being a little man, you needed to learn how to fight well. You're very nimble.
I am. And, I like to pride myself on, I had a little bit of a rough upbringing, and I'm a dwarf, and, I'm kind of big for a dwarf, and, I kind of stuck out. So, I was little for a human, big for a dwarf. So I kind of got made fun of a lot, and I had to learn to take care of myself.
Brother Bear would say you might be the right size.
It's true. I seem to do good for myself, and so the barkeep comes back over with the food, and comes back and sits down and plates. He's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he just kind of looks at you and just kind of shakes his head and walks off.
I slide 2 next to me in front of the dwarf, and I keep 2 in front of me and 1 in the middle.
Okay.
And as I take my first bite, I look over at the dwarf, and with a mouthful half of food, I'm looking for people.
Okay.
I think people from here. Maybe you can help me.
I can try. I can certainly try.
You have gods, correct?
Yes, us dwarves have gods.
So you're not some faithless heathen?
Well, I am a heathen, but...
Well,
and he laughs.
The voices, they marked me. They told me of a tale.
Okay.
I am to find people.
Who are these people?
I'm to earn a blessing. I don't know names. All I know is what they look like.
Okay.
I don't know if they're from the town, or if they're travelers, or if they're... I don't know anything about them other than what they look like.
Okay. Can you describe them?
3. A human who practices the arcane arts.
Okay.
A half-elf who serves a god not of my own.
Okay.
And a sly. And she marked me with each of the symbols as he slides up his cloak again, and he motions to all the tattoos across his body.
Okay.
It's not their names. They write me in riddles. They cover me in riddles.
Okay. That's kind of fucked up. I've never seen that before. Mihaly, we're gonna switch over to Mihaly for a second. Mihaly, you have this like sense of something, right? You have like this just like sense of something that it's not an unease thing, but it's you have like, you know, a feeling that something is there. And
I trust my senses.
okay.
Yeah. So I'm in my room at the moment in the Rusty Dragon.
Right.
Sure.
All right. So would you like to take any actions?
Yeah, I'd like to kind of make my way down and see what's happening within the inn.
Okay.
Definitely curious for a brew.
You want a brew? Okay.
Yeah, there's a bar within the inn, is there not?
Yes, there is.
I like to make my way downstairs.
Okay. So you walk up to the bar and you say, you walk up to the bar. The bartender's there.
How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. You? Fine day. Fine day for a festival.
All right. The festival's beautiful, I'm sure. Does this happen often?
No, this is well, I mean, the festival goes once a year, but this is a special one because of the consecration of the new temple.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the temple's quite nice, I'm sure. Not quite my thing, but what do you have on tap, my friend?
Yo, we have a special one for you today. We have a spice winter mead for you.
Mead is my favorite. And a winter mead, you say? I'll
Yes.
take one.
Yes. Gunnar, can you roll a perception for me? Gunnar, you look over and you see a man come down the steps. He's a slight man, and he's wearing robes, and cinched around that robes is you see pouches hanging from his waist. You've seen people like this before. You might not know exactly what it is, but you know they're different. You know, they're mystical. They got powers.
I take another mouthful of food and I stare at the man as he comes up to the bar. And I continue staring at him as he orders.
Okay.
And I continue staring at him as he sips from his drink.
Okay. Mihaly, what would you like to do?
I pick up my drink, take a sip, and talk to the barkeep. He seems like a nice fellow. Sheriff Hemlock, what can you tell me about him?
He's a good man. Good man. Him and his people run this town. There's not much crime around here. Yeah, there's not much crime around here. We, they do a good job. They take care of the town. They take care of the people here, and but he's definitely a good man. He's a good man. Fair man.
Little town. Yeah. How about what was his name? Cedric?
Oh yeah, that
he
flop.
was on stage this morning.
He's a fop. He's one of those show people.
Okay.
Yeah, I personally don't like it that much, but he's pretty well known around here for being they call him a good actor, so.
Do you feel that the town is in consensus with your perception on this gentleman?
I mean, I'm just saying it's not my thing. A lot of people in town like him. Actually, the town's known for the theater, so it just, it's not my kind of thing.
Bit too fancy for a man as yourself?
Too fancy. A little fancy.
Sure. Okay. I take a sip of my mead. That's quite nice.
Excellent.
I just want to look around the room, see if there's anyone around who I might want to talk to or anyone who stands out.
So you see a couple common. Does your character say that?
Oh yeah, the minute he starts looking around, oh, you're new here too.
Is he talking to me?
I think he is.
I'm staring right at you.
So you're about 15 feet away from him at a table with the dwarf, and he was standing there
a little bit. And do you know this guy?
I don't know him. He's but there's so many people in town now for the festival. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. Looking over my shoulder at the large scary man. Yeah, new here. So is everyone. Have a nice day.
So you mentioned wanting to see interesting people. This man definitely stands out. There's a dwarf at the table, well-muscled dwarf, and his knuckles are look to be a little bit bruised. And you see this large man. You can tell he's a large man, even sitting down. He's got he's got furs on. He's loaded with weapons, and you know, where you can see some tattoos on him that, you know, you haven't seen it much like this before, anything like this. So.
Okay. So you were speaking to me? Did I get that right?
I was speaking to you, yes. Staring right at you.
Well,
speaking to you.
Sure, I am new in town, but what difference does it make to a gentleman such as yourself?
I'm looking for people. You might be people.
Well, I'm sure you're not looking for me. I'm no one.
The Valkyries say that everyone is someone.
The Valkyries.
Are you a practicer of the faiths? Perhaps a practicer of the mystic arts?
No, keep it down. What?
A sage, maybe? He motions with his giant meat horn to your pouches.
Well, just come on over. Let's talk a little bit closer.
I stand up and I push my seat in and I slap the door from the back. The rest is yours, thank you.
Rogar nods at you and he's like, guys, seems a little off. Just I don't know. He's just a little silly. So good fight today. I hope to see you around town. And maybe we'll give it another tumble again sometime.
Maybe. Maybe we will, little man. And I
well fought.
Step across and approach the table of Mihaly.
Excellent.
Please sit and tell me, why are you looking for me?
Pulling back the chair, I sit down and I lean across on my elbows, and my eyes kind of narrow, looking over your face, studying you almost. They spoke of 3. You could be 1.
I am but 1.
And we would be 2.
But have you seen posters? Why me? You don't recognize my face, do you?
So I'm going to step in here real quick, gentlemen. So Gunnar, as you sit down at the table with this man, a feeling of right sets into your chest. It's a generalized feeling of this feels right. So.
I immediately start rubbing my arm and then rubbing my chest and looking down at the markings on me. And I look back up at Mihaly, and I nod and I go, "You are him."
Look,
you
I
are the caster.
Trouble. Look, I don't know. Like, you're a mercenary of sorts.
No, I'm a warrior from the north. A practitioner of Brother Bear.
Possibly want with me.
I'm supposed to find you and help you. And
help me?
Mm-hmm.
You're the only person who would want to help me.
So at this point, the bells start ringing. You guys know this is the time for another gathering. The bells start ringing. They're chiming for the gathering because it's approaching noon and there's something's going to happen. What would you like to do?
I extend my arm and say, Mihaly, your name?
I grasp your forearm. My friends call me Gunnar.
Just nod in approval. Cautiously.
So you guys notice that Rogar and everybody else in the tavern starts to get up. The bartender comes over you and says, "Hey guys, you should take that food to go in the mead because everybody's headed up to the cathedral for the next part of the ceremony."
Okay, Gunnar, do we kind of follow suit? I usually try to stay hidden amongst crowds. It might be difficult for a man of your stature.
I'm normal size. Everyone else just too short here.
Sure. Well, I suppose we kind of follow suit and head out. We don't want to be here alone.
And you guys are going to head up
let's
to the
go.
square?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Decider, you hear the bells go off, and you're relatively close to the square. Do you want to make your way back in?
Now that I'm closer to the bells, can I identify what tone they're at, what they are? As far as
It's a general. I don't have a note for you, but it's a general tone. We'll say it's C sharp. I don't know.
an interesting tone for a bell. Fascinating.
Troll.
You've broken me.
Got him.
Okay, so
yeah, so
you hear the bells go off, signifying the next part of the thing, the festival.
all right. So what do I observe happening around me?
So people are filtering back into the square. They're taking their places. You know, the majority of the people in the town are filtering back into the square. So,
Have I been able to keep track of where the dwarf went?
the dwarf disappeared.
Okay.
Or he walked away with the warrior,
Okay.
or the big scary looking man.
So I feel as if I should pursue them. It's the best lead I have.
But you
other
didn't-
than that,
You didn't really see them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
You didn't see them leave. So
am I able to scan the area for a halfling, perhaps?
you can. Give me a perception. Oh, give me a perception.
I would love to give you a perception. That is a 10 plus 10 for 20.
Oh, wow. So you look around and you definitely see an assortment of halflings in the area. Idabrix.
Assortment.
Yeah, an assortment. Idabrix, are you currently in the square or heading to the square?
I am heading to the square, yes.
Okay.
And I'm like strutting along because I'm all proud of myself for winning.
Okay, so you're not trying to be stealthy at all?
No, not right now.
All right. So Desire, you see a halfling marching into the area, just kind of strutting and swaggering into the square. So where are you standing currently? Davdithas.
I am currently standing wherever the father was standing.
Okay.
Which I assume is probably somewhere near the stage.
Correct. So we're going to say that previously he had been standing to if you're looking at the stage, it's in the the northeast corner of the stage towards the bottom, over by where I described that pile of fuel and fireworks for the later festival.
Mhm.
So the last time you saw him was there.
Okay. So that is where I am.
Yeah. All right. So you look over across the square, and from the that was the southeast. My apologies. From the northeast coming in, there's a path, and you notice this halfling just like boop, 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 strutting into the square, like not a care in the world.
I will approach the halfling.
So you're gonna make your way through the crowd.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Pushing and shoving as nicely as I can.
Okay, Idabrix, you see a man dressed in cleric's robes approaching you from the southeast.
I am a little surprised that anybody's coming up to me because I don't know anybody here.
Okay. Davdithas, you're up.
Excuse me, kind halfling.
Yes.
Are
Looking around.
what brings you to these parts?
I'm just traveling through and just traveling through.
Ask you a quick question.
Sure.
How would you describe yourself?
Give me a diplomacy. Because that's a weird question.
Yeah.
Davdithas, give me.
You're telling me.
Right.
All right. Here it is. Diplomacy. Boom. That's a roll of 8 plus 1 for 9.
Okay, so I mean, Idabrix, you can.
I'm just basically like I'm a halfling. Like this is me.
I'm trying. I'm trying to decide whether she's shy or not. As Desna told me, I had to be aware of a shy halfling.
Sly.
Or sly. Wow, I can read. Very well. So I'm sorry. What was your response to me asking you what brings you to these parts? Just
I just said I was just traveling through.
traveling through. I too am traveling through. I am looking for a warrior of sorts and a master of the arcane arts. Have you happened to upon them lately?
No, I was busy at the archery contest, so I haven't really talked to anybody.
One of the somebody random walking by says, "Hey, I saw a warrior got his ass kicked by a dwarf back there earlier. I think they're around here somewhere, but
Which direction did the dwarf go?
I don't know. They were around. They walked off. Buddy.
Buddy, you say? As you didn't notice any direction they headed off in?
I think they went south, but
Well, Halfling, I apologize for bothering you. I hope you enjoy the festivities. I'd like to travel southward.
So the bells are going off, and kind of this is the next part. And Father Xanthus had, if you recall, he had specifically said there was an event that's going to happen that's going to that you might appreciate. So,
Oh, I suddenly remember that there's an event I might appreciate.
Perfect.
I hear the bells. I think I take particular interest in this.
Okay, so as everybody filters into the square, Gunnar and Mihaly have made their way up to the square. And where would you guys like to position yourselves?
Wherever I can get the best view. Oh, not me.
Well, the spellcaster wants to keep things a little more low key.
Absolutely.
So, why don't you pick where we stand?
I like to stand to the fringes of the crowd,
Better to see anyway.
over by a cart or something.
We need to find the other two, though.
You did mention a party of 4, of which we make 2. Have you any description of the others?
A halfling, a cunning halfling, and a preacher of a different faith. A false god, a god not of mine.
I have so many questions, but at this point, I'm going to roll with it. You seem to be a man on a mission, and I certainly don't have one, so I'm more than happy to tag along at the moment.
Well, I thank you for that.
Okay.
Sure.
So
Hang back here.
where are you going to place yourself in the plaza, Mihaly?
Over to the west, far away from the stage.
Okay. So over to the west, there's a building, kind of like in the northwest. That's kind of a funnel as you come into the to square from the west. So on your left there is a building. There's a and then in front of that there is a small little gazebo, and in front of that there's a food stall. And to your right, which would be in the northwest part of the southwest part of the square, there is another food cart and a couple tents set up. So as you guys come into the square, Davdithas, I'm going to have you roll a perception.
Absolutely. I've lost my perception. 1 second. It's completely gone, but suddenly I remember it.
Well, that makes sense.
That's a roll of 1 plus 10 for 11.
So out of character, our campaign does not use ones as failures for skill checks. So Davdithas has a rolled 11, but still doesn't see anything out of the Yonernig. Gunnar and Mihaly, could you please give me a perception as well?
You own both of us.
Yes, please.
Sure. I roll a 19.
And Gunnar?
And with the new dice, let's see what happens. That's an 8.
So Mihaly taps Gunnar on the shoulder and points over the back over his shoulder. He says, "Is that who you're talking about? I see a cleric over there."
Hey, you said a cleric. That guy kind of fits the description, doesn't he?
And a halfling, right? There's a halfling with, halfling with him too.
Huh. That could be them.
Are you expecting them to be together? That sure fits the description of everyone else here.
It's possible. They're unique. They're different. They're not like the others, and they're together already. This could bode well.
How do we proceed?
I like to say hello. That's generally how I approach people, or I just stare at them like I stared at you.
It seems fitting given the situation, but I'll hang back.
I stride right up. Okay, as you do, Father Xantus takes the stage. All right, so Father Xantus, it was that warm priest of Desna, comes up to the stage. The crowd kind of bustles in, so you momentarily lose sight of him, Gunnar. But the focus turns to the stage, and Father Xantus comes up and, puts his hands up and waves to everybody. The giant roar comes up from the crowd, and the people are able to, they're obviously happy. He's obviously a loved person in this community, and he waves at everybody and he says, people, legends tell of a portion of Desna's spirit plummeting from the heavens in a great battle with Lamashtu. A blind orphan nursed Desna's avatar back to health, and to thank the child, the goddess transformed her into an immortal butterfly. In this form, the child could forever fly around the world, seeing its wonders. So at that, in front of the stage, several acolytes push a cart out, uncover the cart, release the side of the cart, and thousands upon thousands of butterflies pour out of this. From the stage, Father Xantus says, Desna be praised. The blessing of Desna go on to all of you on this precious day. So, Decider, you feel particularly moved at this point.
I definitely do.
Yeah.
The butterflies.
So, throughout the rest of the day, you guys notice that the children are chasing these butterflies because they kind of hover around town. They don't just immediately go up into the sky and disappear. Like you see them throughout the day. So after that, Father Xantus says, thank you so much for coming to this, this quick ceremony, and hearing the word of Desna. We will let you guys know when the consecration is about to begin. You'll hear the bells again. Thank you so much for coming out. May the blessing of Desna be upon you. And he exits the stage. Gunnar, we switch back over to you. You're able to catch sight of him again. As the crowd thins out, you're able to catch sight of him.
Fantastic. Continuing to push my way and shoulder my way through the crowd.
Okay.
Approaching the pair.
Mihaly, what are you doing?
I'm just kind of cautiously following along behind Gunnar.
Okay.
He seems to be, trailblazing, so to speak, through the crowd.
Okay. All right, Gunnar.
You're a priest, and you're small.
Suppose? Man, this guy's observant.
Very astute of you.
Yeah.
Do I get any fancy feeling like?
You do. You, as you're walking over, the feeling kind of grows in your chest, and the symbols on your body, they just kind of, they pulse a little bit. You can feel like a twinge there, not necessarily like a burn or anything like that, but just like as if the skin like twinged a little bit, like a spasm.
I pull open my cloak a little bit, as if the move the furs to the side is to see if there's any glow or movement or anything, and kind of show them Decider or Davdithas, and I look down myself.
Okay. And
why is this man presenting his bare chest to me?
I'm just as confused as you are.
Fascinating, though.
Eventually catch up to Gunnar. I look up at him and say, well, what's the deal? Are these...
It's them.
It's them? You're sure?
I have the same feeling I did with you. It's them.
What do you mean?
It's who? Who are... Sir? Who might you be?
My name is Davdithas. I am a cleric of Desna.
See? And the little one, you would be...
Gunnar, can you give me a perception real quick before you do it?
See if he even notices her.
That's a 16 roll on a perception.
You've seen a person of this type before. You can get she is walking, as she walks around and she handles herself, you're looking at her stance, and it's obviously the stance of a certain type of person, light on their feet, and yeah, they're very light on their feet, and you do notice the bulge of the crossbow under her cape and the weapons at her side.
One of Loki's.
You think
his.
so? You think so? Yeah.
I was meant to find the 4 of you, 3 of you, and myself. I can't add, apparently.
What do you mean you were meant to find us?
I was meant to find you. I was spoken to.
By any chance, do you dance, sir?
Do I dance?
He seems kind of stubborn to me. Perhaps I too was meant to find you.
I really have no idea what's going on. Here.
Yeah, I'm like,
I'm following
looking up
this
at everybody,
thing.
and I'm like, what?
Interesting.
I was just having a nice mead until I met the 3 of you. Gunnar kind of dragged me along here. I'd be fine in my room at the moment at the inn.
By any chance, do any of you practice the arcane arts?
I immediately turn and point at
No.
Mihaly.
Dude.
Big scary man says you practice arcane arts.
Mihaly, roll a bluff.
I roll a 20. Plus 4 is 24.
Decider, I'm sorry, Davdithas, can you give me a sense motive, please?
Absolutely. Here it is. It is a 9 plus 8 for 17.
You don't think you think he's being honest with you?
Interesting. So
just keep it down, okay? Why are you even asking that?
I was meant to find someone who practices arcane arts, a stubborn warrior, and a very shy halfling.
Sly.
Clearly you found
Nope, shy.
Clearly you found the warrior.
Apparently I found, what was that? I'm sorry.
The warrior. Look at this fella. He's like what, 8 feet tall? Come on.
What is feet?
I heard stories of a strong dwarf around here, though.
The short man.
Yes. Power comes in all sizes.
He's not that powerful. He's just slippery. Like a greased eel. Or a sly mongoose.
That's many things I have not encountered, but I'll take your word for it.
You have never wrestled a mongoose greased in the fats of a tuna?
I know. But you're scared me a little bit.
You say your name is Davdithas.
Yes.
And you're looking for a sorcerer?
Well, I don't know if it's a sorcerer, but someone who practices the arcane arts.
And why?
My God told me so. Look, I've had a long trip here, to say the least. I really have no idea where I am. I have one thing to go off of, and it's the words that were spoken to me by my God. And it was to find some people.
Sure. So if I were that practicer of the arcane arts, what business would you have with me?
I was hoping that person could tell me.
Interesting.
Isn't it? It's very, very interesting.
So you guys look around you, and a lot of people have filtered out of the square. There's some people lingering around, but if you're pretty sure this isn't a secure conversation, or you think that people might be able to hear it. So if it's something you're trying to keep in quiet, you might want to take it to another place.
Like I have purchased a room at the local inn. Perhaps we could move this conversation back there. They do have a quite nice winter mead on tap at the moment.
You're speaking my language. Let's go.
I hold up my horn and I hold it out to Davdithas. You should try. It's good.
What is it?
It's the meat from the tavern. It's good.
Okay, I'll give it a go. It's not bad. Perhaps we should have some more. Maybe it'll taste better.
And the shy / sly individual with yourself, have we been introduced yet? My name is Mihaly.
Oh, you were talking to me like during the course of you guys all talking, I was like trying to slip away. So I'm like, oh, I'm part of this now.
I'm pretty sneaky myself. I tend to notice those who act like me. You're with him?
You're not that sneaky.
I don't know that I would go so far as to say that I'm with him. We were talking.
No, we're not with. No, it's not. Like
no.
we just met.
We are with each other now.
Yeah,
that is what is important.
We're present here. Like we're not like
what he said. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'm Idabrix.
Idabrix, nice to meet you.
Well then, about that drink.
Well, I do have that room. If we wish to talk further privately and get to the bottom of why we've all met in the first place.
Why you gotta say
We should
like
speak.
that?
There is much to talk about.
Sounds weird when you say privately. All right, whatever. Let's go.
Sure.
I agree with the one who worships the false prophet. This is weird. We should go.
What do you know about me?
You are clergy of a god that doesn't exist.
Perhaps we'll discuss this over a private conversation. Privately.
I'm all right with that.
Privately.
That's right. Well then,
Okay,
shall we?
all right.
We go.
You guys make your way back down to the tavern. It takes you about 10 minutes to get there. When you get to the tavern,
Sorry, what's the tavern's name?
The Rusty Dragon Inn.
Okay.
Rusty Dragon.
Yep.
Making sure.
So as you make your way back down there, you come up to the tavern. And the tavern, you knock on the door because the door is locked. And just a minute, we'll be right out. And the tavern keeper opens up the door and says, "Oh yeah, come on in. Sorry, I just made it back from the square." So when you walk in, there is nobody in there.
To your room then, sly one.
I don't have a room.
No, the other sly one.
Oh,
She's the shy one.
Yeah, she's the shy one. He's the sly one.
Right.
You're the one with the false god.
It's upstairs.
All right. So you guys make it up there, fine.
So we enter the room. I shut the door behind us and say, "All right, how exactly do you know who I am, and what business do you have with me?"
I step to the side of the room and I first take off my warhammer and I set it in the corner, followed by the shield, and then eventually the furs, leaving nothing but a combination of a cloth and leather, like almost skirt around his waist. And I look back at the three and I motion to the black tattoos and inkings on my body. I was spoken to by the Valkyries, the angels. They told me to find you three.
I was spoken to by my god Desna. She led me to this town after much traveling and told me to look for a stubborn warrior, no offense, a practicer of the arcane arts, a student, if you will, and a very shy halfling. And you all seem to fit that description and have also, so far, as far as this large, burly man has been concerned, given similar instructions.
The tattoos proceeded to pulse and warm when I got next to all of you. More so as we gathered more and more.
Is anyone else weirded by that?
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
simply here by happenstance.
Davdithas, can you roll a knowledge religion for me, please?
I would love to. That is a 6 + 4 for 10.
So you being of you know pretty well that the gods of this as your god has done is send you a symbol. It's not that off that a god to send a symbol or a message to somebody when there's as a method of communication.
It seems to be some type of message. Just not sure what. But I believe you. What about the other two here? What makes you wish to speak to us?
I didn't. I was just on my way, and I got stopped by you. So here we are.
Fair
I believe
point.
we're in the same boat. I literally rolled in on a turnip cart earlier this morning. I no business here in Sandpoint, but Jeb said it was an interesting place to be.
So you're simply here for pleasure.
One could say that. I mean, a festival's always interesting, and a crowd's easy to hide in.
I just feel so confused right now.
Okay.
What is there confused about?
I don't know. There's a lot that's happened to me.
We were brought together by the gods for a purpose. There's not much to be confused of.
I may, in fact, be that sorcerer you're looking for, or practicer of arcane arts, as you may put it.
You lied to me?
I didn't lie, but I wasn't sure I could trust you. I'm not sure who you are.
I could understand that given the situations. Very well. So you might be a practicer of the arcane arts, you say?
I might, in fact. I am. Let's cut to the
What?
dun, dun, dun.
Oh my
I'll
gosh.
save you the drama.
Oh, my mind is blown. I totally did not think that
Obviously,
might happen.
You found me for a reason, but why? Your god, you say?
Yeah, she told me to come here. I know nothing more. I wish I knew more, but I don't.
You're telling me this fella and yourself are both looking for me,
and we are
but
looking
not
for
for
you.
the reason anyone else might be.
I don't know.
Why would others be looking for you?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure, but you know others will be looking for you, but you don't know the reason. Your words are feeble and encircled.
Just gonna move past this one. Don't worry about it, big fella.
All right. So you guys continue to chew on this for a while as the day goes by. Couple hours later, it's starting to get dusk, and you hear the bells chime once more.
So to sum it all up from the past couple hours, we think that the chicken did come first because an egg can't come from anything else but a chicken.
Well, this is not totally true. I've seen ducks lay eggs as well.
Right.
But
Yes.
if it's chicken egg, then yes, it's got to be a chicken.
That's what I thought. All right.
And don't forget, Yorman Gunnar was born from, in fact, an egg.
Oh,
The planet.
oh my gosh. This has been
Did you hear those bells too, Idabrix?
I heard them. Let's go.
The last few times there were people collecting in the square, yeah.
Do you think? I feel like the purpose we're together has to deal with this. Perhaps. What else do we have to go off of?
Literally nothing.
Literally nothing.
Go.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Everyone else is.
And if they all jumped off a bridge, would
So
you
hear a knock at the door. You hear a knock at the door.
There.
I pick up my hammer
Okay. Hey,
and stare at the door.
Hey, just want to let you know in case you didn't hear it, the bells are going off for the for the consecration, and kind of want to walk up so we can head up there. You guys mind going?
Do I? That's a question, actually.
Quietly, I nudged the caster and muttered to him, "Don't you find it odd that he's so eager to get us out of this tavern?"
I suppose.
Sense motive. Give me a sense motive for anybody who wants to question in this.
I'll roll a sense motive of 5.
Now, who's he sensing motive on?
On the person at the door.
What?
That's a natural 20.
Gunnar, you just get the impression that this guy is underpaid and wants to go to the festival and wants to see the consecration. You don't sense any malevolence there.
In the meantime, while that's happening, I'm clapping my hands, chanting "Desna, Desna," and walking out the door.
I'm going to throw him out a window. Let's go.
Sure.
Okay.
No, we're
Okay.
gonna get to the square and he's gonna be like, Desna.
It's too early for gas hands.
All right. So
Not scary fingers.
as you guys head up to the square, you just continue the banter. You notice everybody around you, like everybody this time, like shops are closing up, everything's closing up, and everybody is walking towards the to the square now. When you get to the center of the square, it is there's a lot of people there, and I put your tokens on the map for you guys, and you guys can place yourself in any position you'd like.
So are they congregating around anything?
Yep,
or-
the stage right there. So
They
the
are
stage would be
congregating.
is almost like on the eastern third, midway up the map. It's about a 25 to 30 foot stage, about 10 feet deep, 5 to 10 feet tall.
All right. Well, I'm just going to try to move forward a little bit towards the stage to get a good view.
I'm going to move amidst the other three, kind of keeping close within arm's reach of each of them.
Okay. And Mihaly and Luna?
I was gonna say I'm trying to sort of keep them like in range, but also not like stay too close.
Okay. Let me... All right. So the map is up for all of you, and you can place yourself wherever you would like.
I'm happy with my current position, approximately
I'm good here.
20 feet from the stage.
Okay. And Gunnar is about 20 feet back from the stage as well, 25 feet.
I'm gonna slowly kind of slip off to the north side towards the food cart and tents, and just kind of observe and stand over there.
You're going to stand right
Damn
there?
it.
All right.
I'm going to move.
I'm going to put you in a square just so that, you're in a square. All righty. So once again, Mayor Tavern comes in and she walks towards the stage. She gets up on stage and says, "People of the town, friends and visitors, thank you so much for making this an amazing festival. We've had only minimal issues today, and it's been a great time. I've enjoyed having you. And now it's time for Father Xantis to come and do what we came here to do. The festival, while it happens every year, is a great time. However, this is why we're here today. All 5 years of hard work to get this cathedral going, and today is a culmination of that. Father Xantis, can you come to the stage?" And as Father Xantis starts walking to the stage, the crowd is just, they're roaring, they're clapping, whistling, and he is climbing up onto the stage, and he looks out, and he reaches in his pocket and he holds up a rock and holds it out. And Mihaly, give me a perception first.
Sure. Let's see. I roll a perception of 3.
Okay.
Classic yachts.
Okay. The dice are cursed tonight, folks.
Mm-hmm. That they are. That they are.
So he holds up this stone, and he starts to say some words, and he's essentially trying to calm the crowd down. And give me 1 second. As he takes the stone, he presents it, and he throws it at his feet, and a loud crack rings out over the crowd. and it's the stone is a thunderstone, and it's meant to bring everybody's attention to him. A sharp retort, like the crack of distant thunder, slices through the excited crowd as the setting sun's rays paint the western sky. A stray dog that has crawled under a nearby wagon asleep starts awake, and the buzz of 24 conversations quickly hush as all heads turn toward the central podium, where a beaming Father Xantus has taken the stage. He clears his throat, takes a breath, and begins to speak. And suddenly, a woman's scream slices through the air. A few moments later, another scream rises, then another. Beyond them, a sudden surge of strange new voices rises, high-pitched, tittering shrieks that sound not quite human. The crowd parts and something low to the ground races by, giggling with disturbing glee. With a disturbing glee as a stray dog gives a pained yelp and then collapses with a gurgle, its throat cut open from ear to ear. As blood pools around its head, the raucous sound of strange songs begins, chanted from shrill, scratchy voices. Can you guys all give me a perception?
Mine is a 13 plus 10 for 23.
Mine is a 15.
A 20 plus 7 for a 27.
I roll a 10.
All right, so Davdithas, Gunnar, and Idabrix, you see this creature run through the crowd. He is running low to the ground and making his way, and he had made his way through the crowd over to the wagon on the north side of the square. That is about 20 feet away, the one closest to Mihaly. And as he cuts the dog's throat and the dog yelps, you start to hear a song singing. Chase the baby, catch the pup, bonk the head to shut it up. Bones be crack, flesh be stewed, we be goblins, you be food. Goblins chew and goblins bite, goblins cut and goblins fight. Stab the dog, cut the horse, goblins eat and take by force. Goblins race and goblins jump, goblins slash and goblins bump. Burn the skin and mash the head, goblins be here and you be dead. And with that, I'm going to have you roll initiative.
With pleasure. I rolled a 1.
I have a 13.
Enjoy your turns.
You were just preemptively deferring to the rest of us.
Yeah,
I rolled
absolutely.
a 14.
Okay. Alrighty. So you guys, the three of you, except for Mihaly, because he's kind of looking into his cloak like, what's going on here, guys? You see a goblin appear. You see 3 goblins appear over in the north part of town. I'm sorry, part of the square behind that cart. And so one of the goblins starts to take his turn. And he is going to reach in the cart, grab a piece of fish, stuff it in his face, and then he looks up and looks at Mihaly, and he starts to make his way over to Mihaly. Actually, we got to do this. Sorry. He's going to move. He's moving, I'm sorry, southeast around the cart, trying to make his way over to Mihaly, and he doesn't quite make it. Mihaly, you are up.
So it's fair to say I can see this goblin approach at the
You
moment.
can see him now. Yep.
Absolutely. So I'm going to take a 5, 10, 15, 20 foot retreat and back off towards Gunnar.
Okay.
Heading south on the map away from the direction here.
Okay.
Or away from the goblins, rather.
Okay.
And then I am going to fumble with my actions. No, sorry. I'll cast Acid Splash at the goblin who moved towards me.
Okay.
And I roll a 9 + 2 is 11.
Okay. So as Mihaly retreats back, puts his hands together, takes out a dart, and that dart shoots towards the goblin. It goes over his head and misses him. Now the goblin is up. So this goblin walks over here and starts trying to climb the gazebo, and he is going to make a climb check to do so. And he does. He makes it up on top of the gazebo. So he climbs up to the top of the gazebo, looks down at Gunnar and says, "I'm gonna get you," and just kind of hops around and laughs at him. So the last goblin, the third goblin, starts to take. He comes around the west side of the cart and starts running towards Gunnar and makes it about 20 feet towards him, and that is his turn. Gunnar, you are up, sir.
I let out a bellowing laughter, immediately kicking up my feet, one hand ripping a peace knot off of the hammer, swinging it into my right hand with a quick whirl, the left slinging my shield up in front of me as I begin charging the goblin in front of me.
Okay.
With a mighty crossover with the hammer, bringing it upside towards the goblin.
Okay.
I thought you changed those dice out.
I did.
Okay.
So what did you roll, Gunnar?
1.
So you rolled 1 + 6 for a 7. So you stumble, you come over and you try to make the attack, and as you do so, you completely miss the goblin, and there's no negative effect for that, but you just kind of spin in a circle a little bit. You know how you go off balance and you just kind of spin in a circle, and you're like, where did he go, George? You know. Idabrix, you are up.
I am going to pull out my crossbow, which I need to get out from under my cloak.
Okay.
And I'm going to load a bolt. And I'm going to actually take a few steps back so I'm not quite so close to that one that's kind of in front of me. So I'm going to move back about 10 feet. And I think that's all I'm going to do right now because I had to load my crossbow.
Okay. All right. And so, Davdithas, you're up, sir.
Pesky goblins.
Pesky goblins.
I'm going to move up towards Gunnar. I'm going to move up directly behind him as he seems to be struggling a bit with them. And I'm going to give him a little bit of luck. So I reach out towards him using the power of my god, and I grant upon him a bit of luck.
So Davdithas steps forward, and his hand glows, and he touches Gunnar, and Gunnar has a little bit of a surety washes over him, and he's confident in his that he has been energized for his next attack. We move up to Goblin 2. And Goblin 2 is going to come down. This is the goblin that's on the southwest of the food cart. And he is going to charge towards Idabrix. And he has a dog slicer in his hand. And he's going to take a swing at Idabrix. So he rolls a 10 plus a 5 for a 15 and scores a hit on Idabrix. It hits her in the left shoulder. And he does... he clips her, and he does a moderate amount of damage. It hits her in the shoulder, and blood starts to spurt from her shoulder. Or trickle down from her arm, I'm sorry. Mihaly, you're up.
That hurt.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna step up, or hold on there, I suppose. I want to cast Calver Spray, but I'm looking at the range of it. It has a 15-foot range, so 5, 10, 15. Could I catch the two of them? The one beside Gunnar and the one on the gazebo?
Yes, but you will also hit Davdithas, Gunnar, and Idabrix.
If I stepped up first?
Oh, you want to hit the two to the north of you?
That's right.
All right. So what we'd hear is we'd go to pointers and
So I'm going to pointers now and
draw our
drawing
cone. Yep. And that'll be a 15-foot cone.
Sorry, that didn't quite work.
No worries.
Oh, you're doing it as well. Okay.
I am doing it as well to illustrate to chat and everybody what it was like. Like, so it would originate from the one of the points of your square. Sorry. So if you originate it like that, those two are both within in range.
That was my intention.
Okay.
Now I roll right in chat, or I roll on the targets myself.
You grab the spell and you drop it on them. If it doesn't work, we'll figure out the spell DC and all that.
Cast a Goblin 1, that's a failure, and cast a Goblin 2 is a failure.
Okay. All right. So Mihaly steps up, his hands to come together, and color comes out of his hands and washes over the two goblins in front of him, and unfortunately, it doesn't look to affect them in the least. So, it is the goblin's turn. So, goblin number 3 is going to delay his turn because there's nobody in reach that he thinks he can jump down on him. And we're going to switch over to Goblin 1. Goblin 1 is going to take a swing at Gunnar. He is extremely upset that Gunnar decided to take a swing at him. So he pulls out his dog slicer and takes a swing at Gunnar, and ends up missing. It clangs off the side of Gunnar's left knee, and he's unable to score a hit. Gunnar, you are up, sir.
All right. After that mighty whiff, I'll reposition and readjust my size ever so slightly.
Okay.
As I shift and pivot my left foot, swinging my right foot wide and bringing the hammer across that goblin's body again.
All right, let's see the swing.
And thankfully, I got luck. I get to roll again.
Yes, you
Otherwise,
do.
that one would have been a...
What was your first roll?
I originally rolled a 4 and now a 3.
We need a cleric to bless these dice.
I'm trying, man. I gave it my all.
Idabrix, you're up.
All right. I am really pissed at the one that's in front of me. So I'm going to take a 5-step
Step
back.
Okay.
And shoot it with my crossbow.
Excellent.
Shoot it with my crossbow.
Excellent.
Let's see. Nope, I just want the die roll thing, not the whole window. It was a 7 + 5 for 12.
So you take a step back, you level your crossbow at the goblin, and it let in a bolt fly, and it wings past its left ear, and it misses.
Of course it does.
Davdithas, you're up.
So many people missing, so much luck to give. I suppose I will give Gunnar another go with this bit of luck. And I'll grab my holy symbol and say, perhaps that wasn't the luck you were looking for, but this time I shall grant it to thee. And I lay my hand upon his shoulder and channel the energy into him.
Okay. You still have a move action?
I would like to, after I channel that energy into him, I'm going to take a step back and move towards the goblin that has been facing Idabrix.
Okay.
And attempt to step between them.
Excellent. You can do so.
I have done so.
Okay. Goblin 2 is up. So Goblin 2 looks up at you, and he's like, this guy? and he takes a swing at you. And he rolls an 11 plus 3, and that hits AC 14. Again with his dog slicer, he whips it around with wicked glee and slices at your leg. Oh, I'm sorry, that was the wrong dice. I did that wrong.
Thank goodness. That's still not better.
It's still not better. So he takes a step up and he slashes across Davdithas' shin bones and knees and draws a line of blood. Now blood is dripping down the knees of Davdithas.
Filthy goblins.
And we are up to Mihaly.
Okay. I'm gonna step back.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm gonna step back 5, 10, 15, and then a side step of 5. So I believe that counts for a 25 at that point because a diagonal is 10.
Yep.
And then situated here, I'm gonna take a shot with acid splash.
So if you're going to step out like that, then you would incur an attack of opportunity, because if you're going to take an action after your movement, it would incur an attack of opportunity. If you 5 foot out and cast a spell, or if you 5 foot out.
Great, thank you.
No problem.
Learning. Okay.
You can
in that
move.
case, in that
You
case,
can move behind me.
Step back, or I could attack and then take a 5 step, right?
If you cast a spell in combat, you're going to take a attack of opportunity and a concentration.
But I can take a 5 step first.
You can, yes, yep.
So I'll step back south, 5 feet away from the goblin.
Okay.
And I'll cast acid splash at the goblin who is closest to Gunnar.
Okay.
So I'll roll acid splash at a natural 20.
Okay.
With a crit confirmed. 17 plus 2 is 19.
Okay, and so roll your damage.
And I roll damage of 6 and 3.
So Mihaly takes
Sorry,
a 5.
5.
He takes a 5 foot step back. Acid arrow jumps from his hands into the eye of the goblin. Acid starts pumping into his eye, and he falls down dead at Gunnar's feet.
Heck yeah.
And that brings us to Goblin 3. Goblin 3 is going to now jump down from the gazebo, and because he just saw his friend die, and he's going to charge at Gunnar. So he is going to make athletics check to jump down. He makes it, and then he's going to move in and take a shot at Gunnar. So the goblin screams in rage because he just saw his fellow goblin come down, jumps off the gazebo with his dog slicer in hand, and charges at Gunnar and takes a miss. Gunnar, you are up, sir.
Fantastic. Deflecting the dog slicer with my shield, I spin around presenting the large target to him.
Okay.
I bring down the hammer on top of this thing's head.
Let's do it.
And I'm going to use my luck again. That was a 10 roll that I missed. That's another 10 roll.
No. Let me step in. Sorry, the first one was a hit. It was a hit. So.
Okay.
Yep. The system's something in the system is not working correctly, but that is a hit.
Fantastic. Take 10.
So Gunnar spins around and brings his hammer down in a crushing blow directly in the soft spot on the top of the goblin's head, splitting his head like a watermelon. Blood gushes out the side. It collapses and he falls to the ground dead.
And with the rest of my movement, I'm going to 5 foot and engage the second goblin.
Okay. Idabrix, you're up.
Well, this is interesting because now there's somebody right in front of me. Which is great that there's somebody right in front of me, but I'm going to move diagonally one space so I can shoot without hopefully hitting anybody else.
If you shoot in melee like that, then you are going to take an attack of opportunity.
Okay.
And your crossbow is not loaded because you used it on your last call.
Yep. So I need to reload my crossbow. And
friendly targets don't cause as cover as well for attacks like that.
Well, either way, I still need to load my crossbow. So I'm going to do that, and instead of moving to that diagonal space, I'm just going to move over one.
Okay. So you move one step to the west.
Yes.
And load a crossbow. Okay.
Yes.
And load your crossbow. Okay. Davdithas, you're up, sir.
Absolutely. I accidentally closed the map.
That's fine. I will open it for you.
Thank you. Oh, look at that. All right. Let's see here. So with the one goblin remaining and a couple of us injured here, I am going to take a 5-foot adjustment back to the south to get out of melee range. And I will channel the healing energy of Desna.
Okay.
Attempt to restore some health to us, but I am going to selectively channel and choose the goblin as a target, which will not be hit.
Okay.
If I could scroll down, I will then proceed to roll my heal of an amazing 5.
Okay. So, Idabrix, as Davdithas steps forward, presents his holy symbol, calls upon the glory of his god, Desna, heal these children. A glow spreads out from in front of you, and Davdithas and Idabrix, your wounds slowly start to heal up, and the blood starts trickling from them, and you feel refreshed. And that brings us to the goblin. The goblin is going to take he sees the profane cleric in front of him. He's going to take a 5-foot step forward and take a swing at him with his dog slicer. Ooh. And so the goblin swings at 17 plus 3 for a total of 20 and scores a hit on Davdithas and does he does a large chunk of damage to Davdithas. He comes down and cleaves across his left leg. A flap of skin from his left leg opens up and blood starts to pour back out of it. Mihaly, you're up.
My goodness.
All right, I'm pretty safe where I'm standing, so I'm going to cast Acid Splash again.
Okay.
But this time at the other goblin, the last remaining goblin, the one who's recently attacked.
Okay.
So I roll an 11 plus 2 is 13.
Okay, and that appears to be a hit.
And I roll damage of 1.
So the dart flies by the goblin, and it rips a hole on the cheek, and the acid, you hear the acid go tss as it slices across the cheek of the goblin pyro. I'm sorry, the goblin. And that brings us to Gunnar.
Seeing the last target on the battlefield, I whip my shield to the side.
Yep.
I enter a frenzy, and I step into flank as I bring the hammer down with 2 hands.
Okay. So flank will give you a +1 to hit.
Rage will give me a +1, and a flank will give me a +1.
Yep.
Incoming roll of 4 or 5.
You had to curse him. After the rolls tonight, you had to curse him.
Still has luck, doesn't he?
Ha! 18!
Yeah, baby.
So Gunnar rolls a 10 plus 8 for a total of 18 and comes down with a crushing blow. And how much damage do we do, sir?
That'll be 12.
So he comes down with a telling blow, hits the goblin in the chest, caves his chest in. The goblin falls back, instantly dead, and falls to the ground. Let's see. So you guys look around. Gunnar is taking a deep breath. You guys are a little winded. And all of a sudden you see Father Xantis run out from behind the stage. I'm sorry, from the cathedral. He runs back out to you. And are you guys all right? What happened?
My ankles, they're bleeding.
Oh, you're hurt?
Yeah.
You're hurt? Okay, so Father Xantis grabs his holy symbol and starts the channel. He calls upon Desna to heal, and he heals you for... you feel all your life force flow back into you. You feel refreshed. The blood has stopped coming out of your the side of your leg. The flap closes in, and you feel refreshed.
Thank you, Father.
Okay, so Father Xantis says, "You're good. You're good." And
yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna go see if anybody else needs healing. You guys do your best. I don't know what's going on, but we hope to find you later. And with that, he takes off in the a westward direction, looking for somebody to take care of. Okay. So at this point, what do you guys want to do? There's to set the mood for you. I'm sorry. You hear shrieks and you hear the clamor of combat all over town. The smell of smoke is drifting through everywhere. You hear goblins, you hear people screaming, you hear women screaming, you hear grunts of combat all around the town. It's pretty chaotic. There's fire, there's all the screaming, and it's just a very chaotic situation going on.
It's chaos. We have to help.
I let out a belly laugh and I pick up the shield. By the All-Father, this is truly a good festival. Let's save these people.
Okay. Do you guys have a direction would you like to head?
The loudest source of combat. The closest and loudest.
Closest, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Wherever we can make the biggest immediate impact.
So I would say you probably would go northeast excuse me. Sorry, guys. I got to take a drink.
In the
Looking at
meantime,
Gunnar, I kind of wince and shrug.
I look at Mihaly and I'm like, I did not sign up for this.
Me too.
Okay.
At this point, you don't get a choice.
Okay. So as you guys start heading northeast towards the upper part of the square, all of a sudden a loud crack goes off, a loud boom, and a whoosh of fire goes up. And roll a perception for me, all of you.
Well, I've rolled a 19 plus 10 for 29.
Okay.
I have a 4 plus 7 for 11.
And Gunnar rolled an 8. So
18.
Okay, so Idabrix, Davdithas, and Mihaly, you guys all hit the ground and kind of, because it's a loud explosion. And you look around the square, and south of you, what appears to be, you see that cart that had all the fireworks and the tinder for the bonfire. It has gone up in flames, and you notice down there that 4 goblins have appeared, and they're gleefully throwing torches onto it, trying to make the explosion and the fire and spread chaos throughout the festival. So roll initiative again. Jack, you're going to be on a surprise this round. So you will roll initiative, but you'll have half action and your turn will be done in the next round.
Copy.
16.
7 plus 3 for 10.
20 from me.
Okay. So one of the goblins, let me start at the beginning. So you look at these goblins, and there's 3 goblins that appeared exactly the same that had as before, but there's one that stands out. For those of you who have made the your perception checks, one of them sticks out and looks a little different.
Is there anything I can sense based on what I might know with magic?
Not particularly. Nope.
Okay.
So this you see this creature as well, and so it's a shorter goblin. It has a whip in its left hand and a bow on its back, as well as the dog slicer in its hand. And they're all cackling wildly. And they are, it's chaos. It's the chaos in its purest form. They're running nuts. They got torches. They're throwing, they're trying to light everything they can on fire. And one of the goblins suddenly notices you guys, and starts to make his way towards you. So he's gonna move from the from the southern cart. He's gonna move around the western side of the cart, move up 20 feet. And while he's moving up, he's gonna light the gazebo to the west of him on fire and try and light the table in front of him on fire. Davdithas, you are up, sir.
All right. I look back at the team, specifically Gunnar, and I say, let's get him. And I charge forward as far as I can, 30 feet towards them.
Okay.
And I channel holy energy into my weapon, allowing myself to have a true strike in my weapon.
Okay, so Davdithas rushes forward. While he's doing so, he calls on for the favor of his god to infuse and make sure his strikes lands true on his next turn. Goblin number Trey. So the goblin on the eastern side of the burning pyre starts to move up towards Davdithas. He moves up in a northwest type run around the cart, and is not within range of Davdithas. So it is now Mihaly's turn.
Okay, I'll start to run in 5, 10, 15, 25, 30. I believe that's a full move action.
It
and
is.
I will ready in action acid splash for anyone who comes in range.
Okay. All right. So Mihaly is ready in action to cast. Goblin Pyro 2 is as well. He starts moving around to the directly west of him. And as he's doing so, he moves up and touches his torch to the right side of the gazebo. The western side of the gazebo. Further trying to get it up in flames. He looks at Davdithas and he's just cackling and giggling. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you too.
So the goblin goblin is sitting back there, and takes her weapon and sheathes it, her dog slicer, wraps her whip around her arm, and takes 5, moves up 15 feet, and is going to take draws its bow and is going to take a shot at Idabrix. So the little goblin draws back, takes a shot, and it whizzes past Idabrix, clearly missing her. Idabrix, you're up.
And I'm just like, I'm like, looking at it, I'm like, what? I didn't even do anything to you. So since I still have a bolt in my crossbow, I'm going to attack. Let's see. That is a 6 + 5 for a whole 11.
Okay, and which one were you swinging at?
It was the one that's just to the west of that circular tent.
Okay, the gazebo. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Gunnar, you are up, and we are still on the surprise round for you.
Am I gonna move?
Yep.
Okay.
Either move or standard.
I'm gonna move my 40. and I'm going to smash my hammer into my shield.
Okay.
Scream out, "Have at thee!"
Okay. All right. And on that, we are going back to the top of the order. Goblin, the goblin at that has just made it past the cart, jumps up on the little table right here, points at Decider and laughs and jumps at his feet and tries to make an attack. So he is going to make an acrobatics check. He makes it, and then he is going to take a swing with his dog slicer at Davdithas. So he comes up and the goblin runs up, jumps on a little table, brandishes his weapon, jumps and takes an overhead leap and swings at Davdithas, comes down and just misses him, and his weapon gets stuck in the ground. He'll have a -1 on his next attack. That brings us to Davdithas.
Nobody jumps at me unless you're some type of lucrative dancer. But anyway, I'm going to attack him for his folly there.
Okay. Do you know how to give yourself the benefit of True Strike?
I'm just going to add a +20 modifier.
Okay. That's the way I would suggest it.
Yeah, I'm just going to add, +20 to my roll. No big deal. And
I know it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen in my heart of hearts.
The roll's a 1, right?
Oh, don't put that evil on me.
Guys are so mean.
Just don't.
Oh.
All right, that's an 18 + 20 for 38. Does that hit?
It misses. No, I'm just kidding.
What? I quit.
All right. So yes, Davdithas, he raises his weapon and he clearly has the favor of his god. It strikes true and hits the goblin. How hard does it hit the goblin? Oh,
it hits him really hard.
It hits him hard. So comes up, raises his hammer, has the favor of his god, and brings it down in a telling strike into the face of the goblin, crushing his face. The goblin stands there for a second and just falls backwards, and he falls dead. So, good for you.
Thank you. It's my first hit ever.
Okay. Goblin number 3 is up, and goblin number 3 is going to move up and try and take a swing at Gunnar. He has clearly seen the proudness of this warrior and wants to eliminate the threat as quick as he can. So he steps up and tries to do a swiping cut against Gunnar's knee and just misjudges the distance and swings past him. Mihaly, you're up.
Okay. I'm gonna take a step in towards Davdithas and Gunnar. That's 25 step. No, sorry. I'll go back here. I want to get in range for Grease. You mentioned earlier that one of these goblins lit the gazebo on fire.
Yep.
The one on the bottom next to the gazebo.
That's the one to the south of us, right?
Correct.
I have a 20. Oh, I'm sorry. Grease is a 25-foot range on Grease. I'd like to cast Grease at him.
Okay.
Whereas he's already, lit up a bit of a fire.
Okay.
So step up more towards Davdithas, and I'm going to cast Grease in a 10-foot square around the goblin, but a little bit to the north. I can draw that out if you'd like.
Yes, please.
It would be a bit like.
So just so I'm clear, are you trying to include it into the so that the fire affects the grease when you cast it?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. So
I could. I'm having a hard time moving the square.
Let me see if I can move it for you. Like something like this.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was going.
So the first thing I want you to do is cast the spell on him to see if drag it and drop it on him.
Sure.
Is it not working?
The chat seems to think.
Oh, he's greasy.
Maybe I just drop it in chat. I'm
No,
not sure if
you're gonna drop it on the. You have to drop it on the actual goblin.
Yeah, I did. That's at Goblin.
Okay, so what is your save DC for that one? It's a reflex save, but what's your spell DC for that? Because it doesn't appear to be working.
Sure. For Grease, my saving throw. Oh goodness, it says see text.
Okay, so your saving throw would be 10 plus the level of the spell plus the your primary modifier.
A level 1 spell. My primary modifier is charisma, which is a +4, so that would be a 15.
Okay. All right, so we're going to roll a reflex. He makes it. However, he is standing in the grease, so I'm going to roll to see if if any chance the grease has affected that.